Wait, is it making me do... it didn't used to make me do this. How do I... One of these goddamn days. Alright, it's yelling at me to go this way. Sorry, y'all, if this is making you nauseous. Are we good? I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Alright. I scheduled it, and this has happened every time I've tried to schedule one where I can't like join it. Hello. Thank you for coming to hang out. I'm just gonna share the link to this one. I guess I'll see you in a second. Hold on. Let me make sure this is muted so I don't hear myself talking. How's everybody's Friday? I have not done one of these in a hot minute, and I've missed it. That's right, because that's the easier way to keep up with chat if I do it on here. Oh, at me. All right, I need shareable link. One day it won't be total mayhem starting one of these. Hello! Sorry, I'm kicking things. Hello, hello, hello. Carrie, I'm excited you're posting again. Hey, don't start with that shit. I got a comment the other day, yesterday, and I just saw like the little preview, so I only saw like the first couple words, and someone said they were, they'd said, I really wanted to hang, and ... where I thought they were like referring to the live, like wanted to hang out here. And then I read the rest of the thing. Can you see my screen? No, you can't. There's, listen, I am deep in a 1975 rabbit hole. No, that's not how I have to do this. Okay. Okay. I don't need to look at my own. I need to go to my videos. It's like I've never used a computer before, every time. The person that commented, can you tell I started medication? I can't remember what I was trying to say. The person that commented, what they actually said was, well, thank you for stopping by, and yay, editing. I do want to try like co-working live streams. Maybe not here, maybe on TikTok. I have enough people over there, like I can do live streams there now, but like y'all are my people. So but the like co-working things, it would literally be me like working on the computer and probably doing Pomodoro technique stuff, but I find body doubling very helpful. Anyway, the person that commented, what they were actually saying is, it was just on one of my videos, and they were saying that they wish they could hang, but they were too upset about my language, so then they just said they weren't going to be watching my stuff. I've had much ruder comments than that, so it's fine. They did wish me good luck at the end, but it was, it's not, I thought they were like, oh, sorry I can't hang out, I have stuff to do Friday night. And no, it was, I can't watch this because my ears can't handle the language, because I'm a monster, just in case none of y'all knew that. Anyway, I'm going to pop into the chat on here so that I can just post. Why so difficult? Also, sorry I'm making you watch me do this. Yeah, I just need to go into the chat. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. I think I can like pin this to the top, maybe? Okay. Do that. Just in case anyone goes to the other link that I mentioned a bunch of times before, and then I'm just going to share it in 2 more spots. A potty mouth warning. Yeah, like every video, literally every video. I mean, it hasn't always, but this person was watching a more recent video, so like, can do rooms? I don't know about this. Huh. You had to go to church after. I forgot what I was saying. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I was going to post this. Oh, I don't actually think I shared today's video. Whoops. Post that, and then one other spot. We do Tweeter. I don't know if anybody actually looks at stuff on there, but you know what? It's fine. Live stream happening now. Come hang. Okay. I'm gonna look at the chat on here because I find that helpful. But yeah, I'm gonna try to crochet something. I've been like noodling around with some stitches to try to like wrap my head around it. I do need an assistant. If Bert had opposable thumbs, he'd be much more useful. He's always sleeping on the job though. Yeah, what I need is someone to untangle the wires in my brain. That'd be really helpful. I'd appreciate that. Right. What I'm working on is trying to crochet things. Oh good, there's not a ton of lag. That is helpful. I just want to see the chat though. I don't need to see my own. Can I make this like full screen? No, not hide chat. Only show me chat. I'm going to decrease the quality of this and just leave that doing its own thing. Ben can be my assistant if he wants to. I hate that I can't just turn it sideways, but you would think I would know better, but it's been a long time since I've live streamed, so I'm giving myself some grace here. Anyway, what is everybody else working on? Did I get the question? Aiden, stop. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Also, Aiden, hi. I'm excited you're here, but also, why do you have access to that? I forget my nephews are like, not adults, but they are, not wee babbies anymore. And I don't like it. So, those of you that do crochet already, I thought using thick yarn would be helpful, but I don't know. It restricted that comment, Jenny. I'm gonna let it show there. I guess that's a good thing for someone to have to screen. Anyway, is thicker yarn a better option? I have a bunch of that like really thin, you know, like Red Heart acrylic yarn. Like if you need a lot of fun colors, that's the yarn that you get, kind of thing. I will grab a couple other ones, other skeins, just to have. I'm just gonna bring the yarn bucket over. I sure could have done this before. All right. Let's see. We'll do this color and this color. Okay. Oh God. I set up my studio lights and everything. and I almost just cracked myself in the face. So we're good. Easier to see the stitches. Okay, that's what I thought. This is the one, the Super Saver. That's what I was talking about. I'm actually kind of impressed I remembered what the name of it was. This is Lion something brand yarn. If any of you do yarn crafts, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I've done a bunch of loom knitting with this kind of yarn, and I really like it because it's super soft. Where I know this stuff is like, it's kind of scratchy. Yeah, I don't like that. But this stuff seems pretty soft. I have no idea what brand it is. But I have this, and I have like a navy blue color. Oh, I also grabbed a drink. Join me, won't you? I guess we can do here's what you need. Don't mind me making a mess. I could have gotten a glass. Oh, don't start with darker yarn. All right. I mean, out of what I have, this is probably on the lighter side. That does make sense. I feel like even loom knitting, I remember getting frustrated with that, although loom knitting is like the easier of the options, but I remember getting frustrated with it because it was so dark. Also, Jeanette, I have, I'm gonna finish cutting these up. Listen, it's a spoiler for what I'm sending out. So if you don't want to see, I'm probably going to refer to it like multiple times during this. But like avert your eyes momentarily if you don't want to know what it's going to be. But I made a second edition of my little mini zine, where most of you probably don't know about these. And I'm sorry it took me 6 months to make a second one. I didn't realize how long it had been until I was looking through the folders on my computer and like went into the zines folder to find the layout and was like, holy shit, that was June that I made that one. But yeah, I'm excited. I got my little guy on the back, but I have things in here that I'm very pumped about. But I've been talking about doing another one, and I finally did another one. Are you proud of me? Okay. So I'll use this thicker gray yarn, and then, well, this one's just, that's a stabbing implement. Yeah, buy yearly zine. Hi, Sama. Also, in case you don't know, you're a moderator. Not that you need to do any work, but just you have extra powers. So I assume with thicker yarn, I want like a bigger hook. These, okay, hold on. It's the easiest way to do this. I'll take these out here. Yeah, you got a wrench. You're like Gadget from Rescue Rangers. Ooh. Oh, there's letter. I didn't even notice that there were letters. Thank you. Okay, these don't have letters. These have numbers. But the thing I noticed is like, these aren't in order, but I have all these and like, they're all chunkier. Where, sorry if that's a really bad noise. What I've noticed is like, some of them are thicker like gauge, but it really seems like, oh, maybe not. Maybe there's more standardization to this than I thought, but it felt like some of these were like deeper than others, but maybe it's just because the size. Can you tell I'm new to this? An L or bigger. Okay, that is none of these. But does 8 mean 8mm? Because we can go from there. We're going to use our powers of deduction. It's really not pleasant hearing them all clanging together. Yeah. Everyone listen to Sam. Okay, what? 8. Let's see. Does that mean that's the millimeter size? Why am I like this? No, that is... It's close. I'm going to go with this hook. I'm going to go with this. You already got restricted? Oh, I see. Sorry. I don't have the ball band, but that is a funny phrase. Oh, you're right. I'm definitely not looking at the right spot on here. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, okay. Got it. That's what these little guys are? They tell you? That's very blurry, sorry. Is that helping? I think so. Of course, like, this isn't the yarn I'm working on, but that is helpful. Okay. Make sure you can actually see what I'm doing. Also, the video I posted today, I referred to this lady here. And there's a project in the works. I just need to get fabric for it, but there, I'm hoping I can just like thrift some, but something's gonna happen. Anyways, I did do a teeny tiny, here we go. I did a little tiny practice, just so I wasn't like watching tutorials while on here, just to get a general grasp, but it's also been a couple days since I did that. Actually, Carrie, I was watching your videos Wednesday morning. I hadn't checked stuff on YouTube that wasn't 1975 interviews. Or Diary of a CEO. There's some wild shit on there. But yeah, I was watching your videos Wednesday morning because I hadn't checked like my subscription feed in a while. And then I saw, I think you had 3 videos, which would make sense because that was what, the 4th? And you put a video out later that day. I'm very impressed by your like output. Okay. Amber, who is sometimes in these, but is also in the Discord. Has shared videos by Hooked by Robin. So I'm just following like her method of doing this. So I'm gonna get the slip knot going. And it's okay if you yell at me. I'm gonna like do this and undo it and do this and undo it like a bunch of times. Okay. So just ignore this. Oh. That's fair. Right. Okay. So I know it'll click eventually, but and I've like read and watched a bunch of things about people having a hard time like getting the hang of like how to hold their stuff, but so that's probably what a lot of this is going to be. It's like where oh wait how did I do this? Just like where to put your hands. Is this how she did it? Oh, wait, that didn't work that well last time. Who is she? Okay, so it's called chain stitching, I believe, where I'm just getting like that initial row. Again, I know it's going to be clunky. I wasn't moving the hook at all before. I'll show you how I did it with my like initial couple things. is like this and then like that. And it was really hard on my hands, shockingly. Oh, that's really handy. Jeanette, was it the buttons that have like the teeny tiny little like loops that go around? Because I could see that. I could see that coming in handy. I've only ever seen those on a wedding dress. I've made that kind of loop because it's very fun, like making the thread loop. Just very repetitive, but I didn't know it's essentially kind of chain stitching it. But I altered a wedding dress for someone, and they wanted the train to be able to like hook up into the dress and like basically form a bustle. I'm trying not to say bussy. That's also not how that's pronounced. But they wanted me to like install a button and then like put a loop on the end so that I could bring it up. Anyway, yeah, this is how I was doing it before, is like holding this, like everything was a death grip, and then like holding this here because I was worried it wasn't going to stay, but like it's designed to do this specific job. So like let the tool do what it's built for. We've already been going for 20 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry, but like am I that surprised? No. I thought we were literally like 5 or 6 minutes in. Story of my life. So that's what, almost, yeah, okay. I don't have a specific end time, just when I get sleepy or nobody else is hanging out anymore. Okay, so I think the Hooked by Robin, I assume her name is Robin. I had not read that yet, Jenny. In case anybody in case anybody's watching this back and isn't in the chat. Hi, Moss. I had a dream about Richard Ayoade and Chris O'Dowd, and I don't remember what the context was, but then I woke up, it was like, I should text Sarah. Yes. Seeing the Tarzan soundtrack described as he put his whole philosophy into it. It's good. It's never not gonna make me laugh. People using that phrase. Just to own up to it, because I'm an old the point in time where I learned the phrase bussy. I'm so glad this is the road we're going down. There's a reading thirst tweets series. It must be BuzzFeed. But Taron Egerton, who's in Rocket Man and like Kingsman Secret Service, and Kingsman The Golden Circle, as well as other things. I have done a bad. My tension is it's too tight. I also love that you can just undo it like that. It's very satisfying. I've done that a lot. Anyway, someone says that word, and it's one of my favorite clips on the internet is him go this way. I saw another way to start the slip knot? Slip stitch? this bit, the slidey bit. Anyway, he learned what that word meant, and it is the most wholesome reaction ever, and that's all I ever think of. Nailed it. That's all I ever think of when I hear any kind of reference to that. I had watched a bunch of interviews of Joe Quinn and Jamie Campbell Bower from Stranger Things, and them talking about him putting his whole Vecnessy into it. It's very good. It's all very good. I love the internet sometimes. Okay. It's serious business now. All right. We're gonna get a rhythm here. This is my goal for the evening. At least for like the chain stitching. You know? I'm trying not to do the thing where I give up on something because it's not coming super easily to me. Like, I've already spent a couple hours, like hours, getting to this point. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I hope that's facing the right way. It's definitely not. But I know that it wasn't facing the right way, so that seems like progress. No. Oh. Did I fuck it up? I mean, almost definitely. Yeah, anyway. I did say pray for me with this. So I know a couple of you already crochet, but is this the thing like most crafters do and I'm just really late to the game? Because that's fine. Everything's fine. Everybody gets to stuff in their own time. It's whatever. Is that right? Oh, gardening and Animal Crossing. One day I'll play that game. Though, like, I didn't know that the term cozy games, like cozy gaming, was a thing, but I can't play as much Stardew Valley as I have and not be on board with that. Okay. I just don't need to pull so hard, I think is what's happening. So one of my yeah, Sarah, it being chunkier yarn, when I was practicing with this before, like, once I get past the beginning steps and I'm onto like the other rows and you start doing like the single crochet or the double crochet, I had a hard time not getting my hook like through the like separate strands here, and that was frustrating me as well, but it's just getting the hang of it. It's a whole new thing. But yeah, I'm also fascinated. We should sit and just like fuck around with this. I have 1,000 hooks. I think there's like 20, right? Let's see. It's 5, 10, 12. I have 18. Excuse me for exaggerating. 19. I have another one. What size are you? I don't use it for regular crocheting though. Technically I've crocheted before. Okay. Those ruffle scarves, that like ruffle yarn, I don't know how to describe it. It's called like sachet or something, because of course it was. But I did this, just put a bunch of like hair elastics at the bottom, to keep everything from falling off. Oh, thank you, Chase. I appreciate hearing that. Yeah, and it's like with hand sewing, it still takes a little while for me to like get into the groove of it, and it took me years of like taking the time to get better at it and like get consistent stitches and not like be tugging on everything all the time, where my mom has always hand sewn. She's never used a sewing machine, and her hand stitches are fucking beautiful. They're teeny tiny, like they're probably as industrial as anything I can do on the machine. It's incredible. I just don't have that in me. Foundation stitches, is that like a, is that just the term for the thing, or is this a specific like channel I should look into? Oh, foundation stitches crochet. Hey, look at that. All right, I have this bookmarked. I'm actually, all right, you're talking about it taking forever to find your hooks. I'm impressed I remembered where this was, because I've had it in other spots before. Also, yeah, my craft room is pretty clean at the moment. I'm surprised. We don't have to talk about, actually, no, I organized my cutting table earlier. Y'all, I did a thing. I'm very upset about it, that I have spent months thinking about this project and like trying to find the perfect material for it. It's like very specific colors, and it all needs to be similar like weight, fabric, and all this stuff, and I just like wasn't finding exactly what I needed. And then I found the perfect fabric, and it was the perfect shades, because I needed a blue, a pink, and a yellow. And to be fair, the pink I got isn't, if I could find a more salmony shade would be better, like more screen accurate for what I'm doing, but it's a pink. You get it. It's a light pink. It's not like intense hot pink or anything. It's like a paler, I don't know what you would call that shade. Anyway, this is okay. This is going to be a bit of a sneak peek at some things. And also, again, I'm only going to show this one page, but spoiler alert, I've talked about doing this, but I haven't shown the design before. So spoiler alert for zine things. But I don't know how else to describe this without showing it to you. So this is the thing, like the Howl's Moving Castle bag that I made a couple weeks ago, months ago, whenever that was. Yeah, spoilers. Welcome back, Sama. I've been talking about this for a long time. The Howl's Moving Castle bag, that was me like practicing the design, because I was having such a hard time finding good fleece for this. And I guess it doesn't have to be fleece now that I think about it, because I am less likely to wear it if it's fleece. But I think it will, I'm just used to using it, and also it'll probably sell better if it's fleece, if I like have it on display out in the world. Anyway, so I got bigger, I got a yard of yellow because I have like really long pieces I need to cut out of the yellow. There's a lot of bands and stuff in it. It takes up like very long pieces of fabric, so I didn't think half a yard would be enough. But then, because I know I can get the front bodice and back bodice panels out of half a yard of fabric, and I knew, you know, it was gonna take half and half of the pink and the blue to make the checkerboard pattern, and that would add up to a full yard, minus the seam allowances, like a little bit less than a full yard. But I was all excited and was like, okay, great, get a half a yard each of the pink and the blue, and then I'll take care of the front and the back bodice panels. You notice something's missing in my list of things that I'm talking about is the biggest pattern piece in the entire garment and the most prominent color on the piece of paper is the pink. I completely forgot to account for the sleeves, which just for those two pieces, it's a half a yard of 60-inch wide fleece. So like, I don't know how I missed that, but it's fine. These are the kinds of things that I'm trying to be kinder to myself about, because that's some ADHD brain shit. And like, again, I spent so much time like preparing for this project and looking for specific things, where I just got the pink fleece at Joann's, so it's not like the end of the world, but yeah, I'm real mad at myself about it, but it's fine. And as I said, it's not like the perfect shade of pink, where I have seen, I don't remember where I was, but there was another fabric section where I found like a good, it's like the perfect pink, but I couldn't find a decent, or I couldn't find any yellow at all. And then the blue was like nowhere near the right shade of blue. So I was like, well, I just won't get any of these fabrics then. So at least I can go back. It must have been Walmart. Where I try to just use the stuff that I have in house, and I try to get everything else secondhand. But when there is like a very specific color, whatever that I'm looking for, I will purchase new fabric. I did do 2 no buy years in a row, like both 2020 and 2021 were no buy years. So, right? Yeah, it's 2023. Supposedly. Oh, okay, sorry, I missed a couple things about, okay. Grandma was a tight crocheter, Mom was looser. I have experienced that with like, I have needle knit one scarf. It was for, it was for, oh, it was for someone I had a crush on at the time. Pre Lego boyfriend. I've never knit him anything, but I did make him a t-shirt quilt, which was more. That involved more. That also has shirts from concerts we've both gone to together, so like much more meaning there, where all I felt was resentment towards the scarf I knitted. And I only used one skein. So once I was done, and I had bought the yarn like years before, and it was not long enough. So then I pressed it out, and that was also a mistake, because I had like maybe never used an iron before that day. Anyway, I hated it. I hated it very much, but like every part of it was a little bit different width, because I did not keep my tension at all consistently. Oh, okay. Thank you, Carrie. I'm gonna write that down. Well, I already have one tab open. Oh, it skips the chaining. See, the chaining's the part that I think I enjoy the most. Because I can like, I get it. So all right, this is what I have with the chaining. So we're gonna just start going into it and do some single crochet. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, pinks are, the range of pinks, like, it is really hard to substitute certain things. We're like, I could make do with what I have, but, and I prefer, like, me in my own personal life, I do prefer this shade of pink, so I was like, well, I'm more likely to wear it if it's this color. But also, it's all fleece, so I'm probably not going to wear it anyway, and I'm probably just going to have it on display at events, and then have it be like a showpiece, but then if someone wants to buy it, they can buy it. where I did sell the Howl's Moving Castle bag that I made. And I was very, very proud of that. But I also had to charge more because I quilted the fabric, and made a whole panel. So obviously it's a little more involved. Anyway. Oh, good, Carrie. I'm excited to see the know by year, like what your parameters are. Because I do still have restraints on my fabric purchasing because it's very easy to like just go real deep in the paint with it. So I feel you there. There's something else I was gonna say. Oh, Jeanette, you were talking about how your grandmother crocheted really tight and then your mom crocheted really loose. I never crafted with them, and I'm actually like bummed about it, though. Like, I never asked to craft with them, but maybe they didn't want to craft. They didn't want me crafting with them anyway. But my Nana was a crocheter, and I still have one of her blankets, which actually it's unraveling in a part. It's like all granny squares. Not all granny squares, but it's that type of like spaced out thing. Bert has gotten stuck in it before, so I don't use it very often because I don't want it to get more destroyed and I don't want him to hurt himself. But I'm just now realizing that learning this, like I can fix those spots that are messed up and then just like not patch it, but repair it. Where there is someone, what is her name? Steel and Stitch? I'm gonna look this up. I think it's Steel and Stitch on Instagram, and she does what she calls crochet hacking, and it's like DIY upcycling stuff. Like it's how to fix a shirt, but like adding crochet trim and stuff like that. And like I just could not wrap my head around it. But I've been wanting to oh, that's right, she came out with a book. That's right. Okay, yes. STEEL. Actually, I can put it in the chat. That's how we can spell things out. Also, I can't tell if I'm sweaty or my back is just damp because it's snowing outside and I took Bert out right before I came in here. Also, story of my life. Yeah, we've been getting, I don't know what it's like by you, Jenny or Moss, but it's been snowing all fucking day. Where I heard like 15 minutes south, there wasn't any snow at all. Like no precipitation. I don't understand. But I probably haven't told the public about this, but I was given a tractor for Christmas. So just casually crying over farming equipment. It has a snowblower attachment on the front. So I'm actually like kind of excited to tackle the driveway. Also, I forgot I didn't hit enter on that. Oh, I was like, oh, someone said something in the chat. It's me. I did. Oh yeah, Sarah, I'm gonna next time you are over, we're gonna noodle around with some yarn together, and maybe I'll make sure like a boyfriend's around for it. I feel very confident driving it, so I'm also confident I can show you how to use it, but it's very fun to drive around. So he also got a little cart for the back, so I can haul firewood up to the house from the woodshed, which is wonderful because it's uphill, and I've either been going with a wood sling and carrying everything by hand, and I can't carry that much, and it's like it's a lot of physical exertion doing that, just like back and forth, because it's a decent hike between the two, especially when it's cold and shitty out. That's what we use, a wood stove, by the way. But oh, you need cupcake. What kind of cupcakes did you get? And then I started using a wheelbarrow. I always want to say wheelbarrow, but it's barrow, right? Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I do want to, like in the warmer months, just like set up some blankets in the little cart in the back so that he, oh, I love that idea. Yeah, set him up in the back. That would be very cute. I want to do this, Anna. What I need to do is replace this. This is on my list of things to take care of this year. Is like all the things I kept meaning to do last year and then not getting around to is my fairy god Cheryl sent me a super rad tripod for my phone, which is what you're all on right now. But it also came with a little remote, but the battery has died. But it's so handy, and especially because I want to level up my photo shoot stuff. Oh, actually, there's still some juice left. Well, oh, okay. I need to get replacement batteries. Oh, good, it has the number right there. A little button battery, like a hearing aid battery. No, those are smaller than this, I'd imagine. But that's what I was thinking of when I see the little flat button ones. I need to get a battery replacement for this. And then I could absolutely do a photo shoot with Bert on there. That'd be very cute. But yeah, I did like plonk him in the cart and he like poked around and he wasn't trying to jump out. I think if I drove it around, he'd get a little distressed, but I think just like hanging out, I put him in a wagon in the summertime when I'm working outside, like under this like cantilever umbrella that like a boyfriend sets up for me. So I have like a little outdoor workspace. I call it my cabana to make it sound fancier, but it's just a guard from the sun and leaves because it's under a lot of trees. And so I don't get shit on by birds. It's really well thought out. But Bert sits in this little wagon. Not little. It's like those carts. My dear friend Grant, who is always live streaming on Twitch, by the way. It's Crafty Grant. If you, I'm sure some of y'all know him, have seen his stuff before, but I've seen their stuff before, and yeah, they sent me a cart for doing events because I was talking about like how much it hurt my body, much like bringing firewood up to the house. I have a lot of like chronic pain shit, and that kind of stuff doesn't help those situations. Although, LOL at almost definitely having a what's the term for it? Connective tissue disorder. I don't see how I don't have it, especially because a fun thing. Jenny, I don't know if I like told you about this part, but I have literally had like multiple people message me over the years of posting about stuff on YouTube. It's like I have this specific heating pad for my shoulders that looks like a badass like shawl, whatever, piece of armor. I've had people message me privately in various departments over the years and were like, hey, just wondering, do you have, yes, EDS. Given how lanky I am, I don't think Marfan's is like off the table, but I don't think, because I'm just long, and I know that there's a trait. Wait, am I fucking this up already? No, we're doing single crochet. That's right. So I go through one. Anyway, I've had a bunch, like half dozen people over the years message me specifically to be like, hey, do you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome? And the fact that there are indicators prevalent enough just by me talking about like things in my life existing in this meat sack of mine. Ooh, yeah. My sister and I don't know if both nephews got the genetic testing, but I know at least one of them did. Um, and they're just chock full of EDS. And all the things my sister was talking to me about on the phone, like all the things, all the like body party tricks I could do when I was younger. I can't anymore because everything hurts too much. But there's so much weird shit, and like even my stomach issues, that it may be that. It may be that. Both did. Okay. Yeah, shit's wild, man. No, thank you. But I've talked to my doctor a little bit, but she's very unfamiliar. So I'm basically showing up with like a packet of information, which is not the first time I've done that, but she fucking listens to me when I show up with that kind of stuff. Because like I've gone to physical therapy over the years, and like it kind of helps sometimes, but not everything helps, and like it never fully goes away. On a good day, my shoulder is at like a 2, between like a 2 and a 3. Like it doesn't, obviously, like it hurts, but it's at like the lowest it ever gets. So it's not like super prevalent in my brain that my shoulder is bothering me, where like sometimes it's all consuming because it hurts so bad. So yeah, there's a bunch of indicators. Yeah, shit's wild, man. Like the like my fainting shit, that could also be the explanation for that, because there's another thing also connected with all of this. Okay, I did not know until like 2 weeks ago that it's not normal to feel lightheaded from standing up. Like, yeah, POTS. Yeah. I didn't know that that wasn't just something everybody dealt with. Like, if I stand up too fast, which is almost every time I stand up, I have to like grab a piece of furniture. And I have a long history of fainting, and it's always been contributed to like being dehydrated. But people don't deal with hydration the same way I have to deal with. Okay, thank you for saying that, Carrie. I have had a much, it's been more prevalent the past year, and I didn't know if that's because like I was aware of it. Tilt table test. What is that? Tilt table test. Oh wait, this is making me nervous. I feel like that would make me feel really sick. But I guess that would prove the point, right? Oh, I didn't, not known to me, apparently. Because I had COVID really bad a little over a year ago. It was like November of 2021. Oh, actually, I think you might be right about Annika Victoria. There's someone else. They have other stuff too. Slash, I'm very good at gaslighting myself about these things, because when Annika Victoria and, oh God, what is their name? Oh, Jessica Kilgren Fozard. When they have talked about some of their like chronic pain things, and I have had KT tape, like the kinesthesiology tape, That has helped like my knee a bunch over the years, and because I have a lot of issues with my knee, and it's like weird vein shit. It's never been like a thrombosis of any kind, like a DVT or anything like that, but I've just had like fucked up weird vein shit going on. And like all of this could be explained by these like comorbidities. And I'm like mad, but there's such like my stomach's upset all the time. Like it took a psychologist point blank asking me, do you suffer from IBS? And I was like, well, I've never been like diagnosed with it. And then he was like, well, let's go through like what the criteria is. And he's like, so I'm not like a medical doctor, but you definitely have IBS. It's like none of that is normal. None of that is stuff that normal people have to deal. Like a normal bowel doesn't act the way that yours does. Like it is not a typical human experience to deal with the stomach problems that you deal with. So that was fun to it was just that easy for him to tell me, but I feel like me being like, my tummy hurts a lot at the doctor is not going to get me anywhere. Where again, like the nurse practitioner that I see now, yeah, I do have a lot of anxiety-based stomach issues, which is fun. So, so this is an overshare, but that psychologist appointment, we did like a telehealth thing. And he was like, well, can you give me some examples about like your experience with potentially having IBS? And I was like, well, I got really nervous before this appointment, and I had to poop 3 different times before getting on this call. So he's like, okay, bye, Sama. Thanks for hangs. Also, yeah, no, you listen to me probably more than anybody else, so you are fine. Sorry, my screen went weird. Oh, right, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. I have like a nightlight thing come on my thing. Well, I'm so eloquent. Okay. I remember being sick way more often when I was at the dental lab. So I was at a specific dental lab for almost a decade, like just shy of a decade. And I was sick always. Like genuinely most of my memories from being at that place were related to me being sick. I was so used to fainting. So at one point I was working there and I passed out. It's 'cause I injured myself really bad, and that was the first time I had passed out from that happening. Because thankfully I don't often grievously injure myself. But that was a rough afternoon. Oh, I did too many. Hold on. I'm gonna try to fix this instead of just undoing the whole thing. Eh? And then I do both. I think I did it. I think I fixed it. All right. Trying to be patient with myself. Oh yeah, by the way, this is what I'm doing. Hold on. We'll go this way. So this is the chain I made before, and this is the stuff I'm currently adding to the top. And again, I'm trying to finesse the technique, but I'm putting this guy, ooh, come on. Putting this guy through here. Doing one, what's it called? Yarning over. Do one like that, and then you pull, do another one, and then pull both over. And then we got another little section. Yeah, it's going okay. Also, feel free to critique the technique. Anyway, yeah, I was just at a oh, hello. Amber, I was talking about you before. Just that you oh, hi, Jess. Jess and Sarah are here. What is this, a Mighty Time Wildcats reunion? And Ruby's here now. Hi, everybody. We got the second wave of folks. Hi. That is helpful. That is the thing I'm trying to get the hang of before I do like any projects that are too big. The medication I'm on is a big help for me not reaching that frustration threshold. Rue Snow. There you go. That is how you say it, right? Is that have I been misreading this the whole time? Anyway, I'm trying to make sure that I have like a decent hand positioning so that I don't hurt my hands, because definitely the little bit of you've always had good usernames though. Yes, process not product. That's a great phrase. I love it. I want to do it so I don't hurt myself, and I've definitely like, again, this is the way I had been doing it, and this is a lot. This is not how the hook's supposed to be used. Yeah, I was like shoving everything around like that. But we're getting there. Things are happening. So yeah, I haven't yeah, that is what I'm trying to do. Is like I have found I keep doing it really tight. But that makes everything harder. And actually, on that note, I'm gonna restart this little bit just to practice that part. Excuse me, hello? What is stuck? Excuse me, ma'am? What am I pulling on wrong? Something happened. Oh, there's like a weird... Where did you come from? Where did you go? Ooh, mood dependent tension. I like it. That also makes sense to me. Yeah, it is very evident to me okay, so like I never yell at other people. Like I don't take my big mad moments out on other folks. I try my damnedest. But I typically don't. I typically like I know myself well enough that I need to just go be alone for a minute and wait for it to pass. Oh, bye, Amber. Thanks for coming. And thank you. Like it's literally because of you that I am on this journey right now. So thanks for hanging out. Yeah, from you posting that stuff in the Discord, the Hooked by Robin videos. Oh, like I have less intense, it still happens, but less frequent and less intense big mads. Like I have had a lot of like very angry internal reactions to things, but I don't like let that part out, except for losing my fucking marbles getting lost in Canada. This is just for Sarah. Getting lost in Canada. Listen, y'all, I don't know how this happened, but my first time to Canada, went to Montreal. It's the only place in Canada I've ever been. Have we gone? I've gone 3 or 4 times. I can't remember. I also need to renew my passport so I can go back. But first time we went, it was for Warp Tour because we were fancy bitches. Remember Warp Tour? Yeah, it was like super late at night because it's a long drive. It's like 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And I didn't think of the fact that like it is French Canada, so like a lot of stuff is going to be in French. Most signs like legally are required to have both languages. Yeah, same. Renew passport. Mine expired in 2019, so I likewise have been meaning to do it for over 3 years now. But went over the border, got through customs, it's fine. I had to claim that I was bringing a lot of snickerdoodles through. And that my mom baked a bunch of cookies for one of the bands because of course she did. And listen, they like request her cookies because they're fucking spectacular. I also do, but yeah, so we went to Canada, and I don't know how. But like going, eventually we got into a parking garage, and all the signs said like sortie, which means exit, but I didn't know that, and it looked like an exit sign, but still, it was just very, very stressful. And like, this is before smartphones. This was not a smartphone time. I want Christmas cookies. I didn't get any snickerdoodles from my mom. I took her out to breakfast. We took each other out to breakfast a couple days ago. No, that was over a week ago. Sometime between Christmas and New Year's, we went to breakfast. And then we ran errands at Target because that's how we hang out. And Trader Joe's. I got a lot of snacks at Trader Joe's. Anyway, snickerdoodles. That's why I was talking about this. Going to Canada. We were trying to find our hostel, and again, before smartphones. Like, we had a GPS. Oh God, what did we call it? Alphonse? We named it Alphonse because it had like a dude's voice. And we didn't know how to change it, I don't think. And I was given that GPS because someone was going to gift it to their daughter, but they literally said, hey, so like my if someone I like interacted with at work on a daily basis, it was the UPS driver that came in, and I would just shoot the shit with him when he did stuff, and I didn't get like creepy vibes from this. It genuinely felt like paternal because I was also 17 or 18. I must have been 18. But I don't think he had bought it for his daughter, but it was a very expensive GPS, and like he had gotten a new one maybe because it had definitely been used, but like not for very long. Maybe he got a free one from work and then was going to give me that. Anyway, he was like, I was gonna give this to my daughter, but she's a bitch. A bitch. Which, I don't know what their interactions were. I was more than happy to receive a GPS because we did a lot of driving around that wouldn't have been able to do before that, because MapQuest would not have helped with the amount of getting lost that I did. Anyway, speaking of going to Canada, Montreal, trying to find where our hostel is, and like not understanding some of the street signs, and also like it's kilometers and not miles per hour, so I like was definitely speeding too much going through some spots before I realized like, oh, I gotta look at the other numbers on my dashboard. Somehow in my little Honda Accord, we ended up at like, I don't know, 11 p.m. creeping up on midnight, exhausted, just wanting to get to the hostel and just go the fuck to bed before the show the next day. Because I think like we had worked during the day and then left from work to go to Canada, because we were going to be up there for a couple days. 2 nights? Whatever. And ended up on... Oh. Thanks, Ruby. At least one of us is remembering that I'm crocheting. Yeah, I ended up driving us onto a racetrack, and I don't know how it happened. And then hilariously, getting off the racetrack was difficult because it was a fucking racetrack. Like, I don't know. I will never understand how that happened. Probably couldn't do it again. Does that racetrack still exist? Is like the opposite of the room of requirement. It's like, what's gonna be the most insane, maddening thing? And I had a mental breakdown in the middle of this fucking racetrack. And Sarah watched it happen and is still friends with me. So, thanks. Where I know I get grumpy, like I get quiet when I get mad about things. No, stay on. Just hug your little friend. I think this is something I'm having trouble with the tension, is like holding it enough to pull it over. Okay. Oh, I see. Literally use more yarn. Just listen to Ruby. Wouldn't you know it? In general, making my life easier. Anyway, is anybody else working on any projects? I want to know what, cause it wasn't like a big track. It's not like, cause up in northern New Hampshire, we have, like one of the main, like NASCAR racetracks. It's up in Loudon, white trash capital USA, at least of the Northeast. Is that a fair description? Oh my God, this is less less stressful now. I know I'll get into the groove of it. I need to stop overthinking it. Just let it do its thing. Yeah, that's definitely enough to do this. Also, yeah, having looser tension means it's going to be bigger, meaning I have to do less stitches to make the thing I'm trying to make. Also, to answer your question, or to readdress your question from earlier, Sarah, is does it get tighter or looser after you wear it a bit? I don't know. I'd imagine, much like with most things, if you like wash it on hot and then dry it with heat, it'll shrink. especially if it's like acrylic yarn, right? But also, I don't know. I don't know enough about things. I have only just the past couple years gotten into the habit of like routinely pre-washing my fabric before I do stuff. That was the other shit today that made me mad about the pink fleece, like not having enough for the project I was working on after months of like trying to source the material. Like I even like pre-washed that stuff. I found other stuff to do while that stuff was in the laundry so that I could start that project and like do it properly. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Oh, well, that's helpful. Ruby, do you crochet and knit? Also, did I finish mentioning that before? I had, so my mom's mom crocheted, but then my dad's mom knit. And I have a blanket from each of them that I will never get rid of because they're no longer here. So I would like to have something from them. And also like understanding, like even then, when we were initially gifted any of those, I don't think I got my own specific blanket. Actually, did I? One of the Grammy blankets? It's possible. There's like this purple and like mint green and white one that she made. And I feel like that one might have been for me. Anyway, it's the one that I have. And like I know it's a big deal. Yeah, I had a really hard time. Like I don't mind knitting looms, that's a lot of fun, but it feels more like this. It feels more like a crocheting type of thing, just like with a lot of hooks involved. Now that I'm like understanding this a little bit more, we're knitting. I can't do. I just can't. I just can't. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing specific I like want to end up crocheting. I just feel like it'd be um, a good thing to do while I'm like hanging out watching TV with like a boyfriend or something. Or even like if I'm just out in the world. Like if I go hang out at a brewery by myself, as I do sometimes because I like checking out the beer and then like I can socialize, and because I work at a brewery, I can like, I hate using the term network, but like have that workplace camaraderie kind of thing with other folks. And the craft beer industry is very collaborative. So like, what have I done? It's fine. We're not gonna freak out. Right, I gotta do both of these over. Keep that loose. And then swoop these. Excuse me, sir. Right? I don't think that was right, but that's okay. We'll undo that. Undo that. And that. Okay. Back to the last chain stitch. Through here, we do 1, and then 2 more. Yeah? Come on. Okay. I wonder if it's just because everything's a little bit looser that it's not looking the same as the other ones, so that's why it's messing with me. We'll just go on to the next one and see what happens. Anyway, I don't enjoy knitting with like needles, but I don't mind loom knitting because you can, again, it feels similar to this. Yeah. I want to brew beer when I'm old. All I ever want to do is play cribbage. So and eat Werther's. Genuinely one of my favorite meals is like Salisbury steak. So my preferred drink is whiskey. Like I like Manhattans and old fashions. I almost made one for this, but I didn't have enough time because it's a little involved. This is a rye double IPA. So it's okay that like it wasn't super cold. Most IPAs taste gross when they're warm. Not warm, but like it's cool, but not cold. It is not chilled at all. But like a little bit less than room temperature because it's chilly outside. It's okay because it has that like maltier. Also, it's like a West Coast style IPA, so it has a maltier backbone anyway. Have I mentioned I like beer? Anyway, Sarah, we can hang out, crochet. I can show you how to ride the tractor. And then after that, I can make us old fashions because it's one of my favorite drinks to order. A lot of people don't make it well at bars, at like typical dive bars and stuff, which is fine. Which is fine. Yeah, exactly, Anna. I'm forever confused by that question when people are like, your tattoos, what are they going to look like when you're old? Like, what's your skin going to look like when you're old? It's like old people skin, but with color on it. Like, my skin's going to look like shit anyway. But yeah, anyway, for Christmas, I learned how to make, taught myself how to do an old fashioned. Because actually, I got a little emotional looking through this stuff, but I found my old bartending school books. Yeah, scooter races to the hallway. Absolutely. And playing like DMX and stuff. Oh. The mental image that's happening in my head has removed any other thoughts. Talking about old fashions? Oh, if I order them at dive bars, they are often made poorly. So, oh, that's what it was. I found my old bartending school books because I went to bartending school when I was 18. I like bartended a couple private parties, but never got into the industry. It is helping me with like brewery work. You're welcome. We're gonna bring the motherfucking ruckus. I was listening to that song the other day, and it's been stuck in my head. Wu-Tang Clan. Ain't nothing to fuck with. Anyway, focus. Bartending school. So I had all my like notes and my like flashcards that had the recipes on it and just like general techniques. Oh, and like I went through tips training, which is basically like this is how you tell if someone's inebriated and like how to handle the situation without being finger pointy or like shaming them and like handling it in a professional manner, but also like handling it and not over serving people, like all of that stuff. I definitely use that in my current at one of my current jobs. It's also just in general, if you're around drunk people, it's a good way to handle things. Anyway, I found my old notes, and then I found notes from my dad, who I assume most of you know, but just in case, he passed it's 4.5 years ago because it was August 2018. But he went to bartending school when he was a late teen. And yeah, like flipping through, like seeing where he wrote his own name and like the notes that he made, like he had very distinct handwriting. But there's a card he wrote out that has an old-fashioned recipe on it, and it just sounded better because you don't have to like melt an ice cube drop by drop for this specific recipe. So I was like, oh no, this one makes sense, where it's just 2 ounces of bourbon, half an ounce to an ounce of simple syrup, Angostura bitters. I also added orange bitters because I bought myself bitter. I didn't buy them. I was bought them for. I was put in charge of drinks for Christmas, but someone else was covering for it, so they purchased it. So it was fun putting those together. Oh, and then I muddled a cherry and a orange at the bottom of the glass before I poured all that stuff in. No, after I muddled it. And it's just such a good drink. I like it so much. Yeah, they're like the Half-Blood Prince. Yes, Half-Blood Prince notes. But yeah, finding out like, but it was my dad. Yeah, it was cool finding those because I hadn't really looked through them. Because when I was given those, it didn't feel as special. Like my dad was still around. I was probably annoyed about some things. So I'm glad I got to like give it more care, I guess. I'm glad I held on to all that. But yeah, there's a good old-fashioned recipe in there, and it came out real good. I've made it a couple times, and it's fucking delicious. I also, let's see, what other Christmas drinks did I do? Made hot toddies, because that's like one of my favorite things in the wintertime, which the way I make it is like what I call the New England version, but I know a lot of places do it with just hot water, which what? No. You deserve better. There we go. See, I'm like defaulting to doing it too tight, but it's okay. We're recalibrating. Other places do it with like black tea, which I'm not opposed to. Sometimes I'll do it with, if I don't have fresh apple cider, I will get just like cinnamon apple celestial seasonings tea. And that it'll do the job. But what I like to do is heat up apple cider on the stove, and then oh, what part am I in? Okay, I'm gonna do this. Heat up apple cider on the stove, put some cinnamon sticks in there. Then I put a little bit of honey in the bottom of a mug, and then I add some bourbon. Are you sensing a theme with my preferred cocktail? Shit, even a Manhattan is like, I love that. And that's basically a glass of, it's a fancy glass, but with bourbon in it. It's like a martini, but bourbon based versus vodka. Anyway. All right. It's not even, but it's okay. We're getting there. Soup time. What kind of soup was it? Also, I had tacos for dinner, and I am very pleased with my choices. I had quesadillas last night, and then I'm gonna make my favorite monstrosity tomorrow night for dinner, which is tater tot nachos. And every time I say tater tot nachos, I think of it, like the tune in my head that starts playing is Beauty School Dropout, but tater tot nachos. So I usually sing to them when I'm baking them. God, they're so good. Highly recommend making tater tot nachos. It's a very dense meal though. Anyway, hot toddy. That's the end of that sentence. I suppose you could do like a cinnamon rim on it or something if you want to get fancy with it. Then, oh, I made pistachio martinis. Oh God, they were so good. Vodka gimlets, which also very good. It's like a lot of lime juice, but like sweetened lime juice, like Rose's sweetened lime juice, but fucking delicious. Yeah, the pistachio martinis were good. I made coffee martinis that had, I did that like, I don't remember what the suggested garnish was when I found, say in my dad's notes, I found, yeah, something for like a coffee, something to do with coffee liqueur, and we had two different kinds to use. There's a Patron Cafe that I would recommend if you like coffee flavored things. It's not, it's not too sweet. It's like black. Super tasty, super tasty. So my friends made like, what's the word? Like a mix for hot buttered rum, where you literally like put hot water into it and like stir this in. Right? Was that the deal? Because it, like, the booze was in it. It was like a paste, if I remember right. That's the only time I've had hot buttered rum. It was like, it's too sweet for me, but that's also the only time I've had it. And like, I don't know if I did the right ratio of things. But I haven't thought about it since then. So I wonder if, I wonder if that's something they would make again, or if it's like complicated. I don't know. Hot butt rum, yes. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. But yeah, so I've never had just a regular gimlet, which, so vodka gimlet has vodka in it, but regular gimlet has gin. I was at trivia, however long ago, and there was a guy that was not even on our team that inserted himself. He worked at the place, and like I know him because it was at a brewery, and like we're in the same industry to some capacity, and one of my friends that was on my team works at this brewery, so like another guy that works there part-time came up to our table and kept asking us if we knew the answers, and I got upset about it. Because I knew there's gimlet and there's Gibson, and Gibson is the same thing, but with it's gin, but with a cocktail onion, which I didn't even know existed until I took bartending classes. I've never eaten one, but I haven't thought about recorders in a really long time. Wait, are your kiddos at the stage that they're playing recorders? That's incredible. I hope so. The noise that happened in my house growing up, because all three of us, me and my two siblings, we were in band. Different stages though. Like there's a decent age gap between me and then my two older siblings. So it wasn't happening at the same time. But my sister did clarinet and my brother did trombone. And then like bugle on the side just for funsies, also for like scouting stuff. So you could play taps. And I was a percussionist, so like at least I could use a drum pad and like practice my my padiddles. And not padiddles, that's when a headlight is out. Paradiddles. I can't believe that's still in there. Oh, that's what the reference is. I was like, it's not hot-blooded. That's what was playing in my head. I'm like, I know that's not what they're talking about. This is where the yes. It's an even better joke now that I get the whole thing. I'm so sorry. I've been drinking. Um, mm, I would be. Oh, you didn't get to play a recorder? How? We had like a family recorder at home. That was like a fancy one that we had at home. Because my dad played clarinet, right? I don't know if Jenny's still in here, but I think he played clarinet when he was in band when he was a kid. But I think like the recorder came from him because I don't think my mom had any musical inclinations. Um, Not that my dad had a ton, but like I played piano and I played I can't can we play like Sandstorm with recorders in the nursing home? That's what I want. That's my goal in life. That's what I want to do when I grow up. Just a cacophony of French horn always seemed fun. It always looked fun. Especially like marching band. I don't know why. That one in particular, like, just looked more enjoyable. Okay. For anybody keeping score, here's my wonky little chain stitch and my row of single crochet. And now I'm going to practice the double crochet. And oh, hold on. I'm glitching. I think it's that. It can't be. Okay, so I chained up one, meaning I should do a second, because if I'm doing double crochet, it's going to be even taller. Right? So then, do I loop it over and then pull this through? Yeah, I must. I must have to do it that way. Okay, thank you. Chain 3. Cool. And I understand what the fuck that means. Excellent. Oh, he didn't get to play the recorder. Oh. I remember, what was her name? I did not like this woman, but she had to listen to elementary school kids play instruments very badly. That was her whole fucking existence. Mrs. Pepin. I don't know if anybody else, meaning the two people I went to school with, remember her. Oh no, Jess, you didn't go to the same school for elementary. Never mind. And Sarah, I don't know if you would have by the time you came in. I don't know if band was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I really didn't like her, but like, what a career to have. Like, bless her. I have found myself missing playing percussion more in the past year or so than I have in like a super, yeah, like Dolly Parton, but not as cool. Yes, like if Dolly Parton was really into fake tanner and like inappropriate amounts of jewelry for third graders to, like, if that makes any sense. Not to disparage how this woman dressed, even though that's exactly what I'm doing, but like her whole vibe, man. I had a difficult time with her. I didn't like her very much. But yeah, then I did band in middle school. And I used to, None of this is in my brain anymore. I can't read music anymore. It's not there at all. None of it. But I was so good at like sight reading. Like I would do competitive sight reading at obviously competitions is where you do competitive things. But like regionals with band, like that's the shit we would do. And I got like awards for it. I had a knack, and it's not in there anymore. None of it is. Where I know part of that, like I learned, I never fully learned how to play piano, much like I never fully learned how to play guitar. Like I learned some of the rudimentary stuff, but I didn't get very far. But like percussion I got way into. And you don't really need to know the notes in the same way. Because unless you're playing like timpani, but there's only one drum is the same as like two different notes, but they stay the same the whole time. Or I guess if I was, this is why I didn't like when I got stuck on the chromatic bells, like the xylophone. We got yelled at for calling it a xylophone. Yeah. My tiny body carried, I didn't get to properly march, but I did like I never got to participate in parades because all of my brother's school stuff got dibs over whatever I had going on. Also happened with scout stuff, but I digress. I remember being sad about a lot of parade stuff when I was a kid, so definitely not harboring any resentment for that. But when we would practice marching and stuff, what is that bruise from? Why are there two bruises? They're not big or dark, but like, I don't know what I did to myself. I know this whole thing looks like a bruise. That's not what I'm referring to. Anyway, I don't know where those came from, but that's like a daily occurrence. But yes, my teeny tiny, I mean, I wasn't this tall in 6th grade, but 7th grade, I very likely slammed into a doorway, or like was holding something and walking by and like not paying attention to where my arm was. It's like I forget where I am in space. So often it's like if I'm not actively thinking about where I'm walking, I just forget the terrain. A very good example that recently happened is I almost fell down a flight of stairs. I was walking up the stairs and I almost fell, like, because I was thinking too hard about an ABBA song. Yeah, proprioception is dog shit. Oh. Okay, I'm catching up on a couple things, but yeah, we had a couple different keyboards. I remember us getting like a full size like sit at keyboard, because before that we had one of those like teeny tiny little like Casios that had like 2 octaves or something on it. But yeah, I really liked noodling around on the piano a bit, but like it never, like I could read the notes. I don't know. I think I was trying to force it too much when I was a kid, because both my siblings were really good at their instruments, and I was like, me too, please. Where I learned specific songs, but I never like, I don't even think I could do much like with both hands. It was usually like I would use my pointer fingers to play like the entertainer. And then, yeah, I hate to give them any credit. And I actually, this is a good question for the room because not everyone's from New England. Does anybody else know what recycled percussion is? Because because they came and did a show at my elementary school in 4th grade or 5th grade. And I was like, fuck yeah. And it was right after that. You could sign up for an instrument for band. No, it had to have been 4th grade because I fucking forgot I was in band in elementary school. It wasn't just middle school. That's so funny. Anyway, I hate them as people, but that's why I got into drumming in the first place. Yes, it's like Stomp. They just stole whatever Stomp was doing. The main guy's a total dickhead, where I enjoy that type of percussion shit, but I hate them very much. What's the other? I've never seen Stomp. Fuck, what's it called? There's another odd object percussion thing. And I've seen it. Blue Man Group. Oh, yes, Blue Man Group. God, I loved that shit. I loved it so much. I got emotional. Like a boyfriend took me to Blue Man Group. Oh, and it was on New Year's Eve, which is my favorite holiday, and they launched this like jelly thing into the crowd, and it hit me. But we were in like we were at the edge of the poncho section, so like we didn't actually get hit by anything, but we had like plastic coverings. Well, other than the jelly thing that hit me, but it was fine because I had my poncho. But I thought it was like a silicone type thing. But so I wrapped it in the plastic thing that I had, and then just like put it on a shelf. But then it just turned into like, it like liquefied. It like gooed out, and it was a mess. Thankfully it wasn't like it didn't damage anything because it was wrapped in enough plastic, but I was like, oh no, there's no shape left. It's just bleh. Yeah, anyway, okay. So I did the extra chain, and now, hold on, I gotta think about it. There's another video I watched other than Hooked by Robin. And I don't know how I feel about this person, but I did appreciate this specific video. Pixie Locks. She was in fashion school a couple years ago, and that yeah, oh my god. Yeah, Gallagher. That is such a wild story, like the fact that there's like the originating Gallagher with like watermelon smashing and shit, right? But then like, what was it? His brother like took his whole thing. I bet there's a documentary on this. I'm not going to do the story justice, but like shit went wild. Okay, I'm also, oh fuck. I wonder where these bruises are coming from. Oh god. I did not hit my elbow hard, but I hit it in a very bad spot. Okay. It's fine. Oh, motherfucker. I want to look this up. I'm glad y'all are of an age to like understand the references I make. Let's see. Comedian? Yeah. I guess yes. Okay, that's the category he falls under. Documentary. We have enough streaming services. Mostly that I consentingly steal from my sister. Not documentary. Okay, cool. I remember watching that stuff with my my dad's just coming up a lot this evening. Ooh, you know what happens to me with shopping carts is there's a section, it's not my kneecap, but it's like right on the outside of the kneecap that I smash into shopping carts sometimes, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up and pass out at the same time. It is miserable. I hate it so much. Right, like I don't know how to describe that because there's been a couple times where I've hit my foot really bad. Like I feel like that's the trope, like people stubbing their toe and like seeing stars. That that would happen. It hasn't happened in a long time. Knock on IKEA furniture. Oh God. Thankfully, here's what I like. Speaking of IKEA furniture, here's what I like about it. Is this desk is like not very deep, so the corners aren't sticking out, and like obviously it kind of goes into. Sorry, it's all jostly. I will try to do this smoother. It goes into this like curved bit, and then over here, I have bins right here, so like I don't interact with this corner almost ever, as far as like walking by it, because there's nowhere for me to walk. So I do want like a big cutting table that I can like walk around, because I've had access to one before and I miss it. Yeah, I want to have like something like that, but when I had access to one, all I did was knock into the corners because there's 4 exposed, and like it's meant to be set higher, so like waist height, so that you're not like breaking your back when you're trying to use it. Ooh, okay. Excuse me. That's an amazing name, Ruby. I'm gonna write this down. Meaning I'm gonna copy paste it. Sounds like my kind of lady. Excellent. Excited. Oh, ice cubes. It took me a second. I like it. I was like, what does her husband being Cuban have to do with anything? Oh, I see. I see what I get it. I get it now. Okay. 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 So I did the chain 3, and then I looped through here, and then to do double crochet, I was practicing. I didn't practice this as much. And I'm gonna, again, I don't know if any of you have seen any Pixie Lux videos. I'm not necessarily recommending their channel. There's a lot of interesting stuff on there. I specifically was watching them because they were going to fashion school, and I've learned a lot about like some brain stuff, but it's not, I don't know, it's a lot. It's just, I get overwhelmed, I guess is the word for it, watching some of their stuff. But a month ago they posted a video called How to Crochet Almost Anything. I was like, oh, excellent timing. I'm considering crocheting. But there is a step that I am clearly forgetting. Oh, right. I did practice a magic circle, and I feel like I didn't quite get the hang of it, but little by little, baby steps. There's a specific moment I'm having trouble picturing. There's got to be like a picture tutorial. Okay, hold on. I can just ask y'all. So I did the third chain, and oh, I gotta loop it through both. I figured it out. I gotta loop it through both. We got there. I was like, there's 2 loops, and I don't know where they come from. Fucking A. I get that, and then I get these. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Chain 3, then yarn over, then insert. I feel like I missed a step. Yeah, there's a thing called the magic circle. I assume that's going to be what you start with for like amigurumi, right? Like making Sarah, I feel like that's a rabbit hole we could dive deep into, is doing amigurumi stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I can't. Never mind. Never mind. I don't want to watch this. Oh, God. Yeah, the magic circles thing seems really interesting. But again, I want to get a good grasp of these other stitches first. Because it involves a lot of these for that. And I think once I have a project in mind to do, like I've seen some, just like making flowers and stuff, like a lot of the stuff you've posted videos about in the Discord, Amber, is yeah, it seems really neat. It seems like once you know these stitches, it's just doing these, but like in a circle. Right, I need to yarn over first. I thought I was remembering that. Okay, I'm gonna start this over. Undo those. Then I undo that. And I'm back to my chain stitch. So I got my third chain, and then this. And then this. And then this. Is that right? I feel like that's not right. But might be. No, I did a bad. But it's okay. Everything's fine. All right, back to the chain stitch. So someone has asked me to make a, I literally didn't think of this till you just posted that, Carrie, so thank you for the reminder. I need to make myself a note. Actually, I'm going to write this down. Because I keep talking to this person when I'm not home, so I can't put it on my, like, commission board. Actually, I should use a color-appropriate marker. Someone wants me to make a mandrake hat for their grandbaby. And this is the perfect way to do it. I don't want to do it out of fleece. I was trying to figure out how to. Maybe subconsciously, this is why I started like making myself do the crocheting stuff. Mandrake hat. This is gonna be perfect. Oh shit. I was like stressing out about that commission, and I think that's why I just repressed the thought of it. It's not, it's nothing urgent. It's not like they've paid me for it. It's a very like casual. They just want to they just want to like give me some work, which I appreciate and like I need to take advantage of. But yeah, this is definitely the move, and I'm like, I'm not dreading working on it now. I'm excited. Yeah. Also, can I show you these Post-its? Hold on. I don't need this note anymore. I guess I'll leave that there. And I don't need that anymore. This is a earring design I'm gonna make. It's Polnareff. Jean-Pierre Polnareff, if you know what that is. But my cousin sent me these. And they're so good. My hand is covering some of them, but I love them very much. And yeah, my cousin Melissa is the first self-employed person I ever knew. She's amazing. Also, it's only just now occurring to me that I should ask her to do my website, because I keep panicking about having a hard time doing a website. I have a fucking meltdown every time I try to tackle it, but that's literally what she does. So her website is Tiny Design Studio. And she's been doing it for like over 20 years. She's great. I like her very much. I got to see her. She lives in Georgia, and I got to the brewing nerd video that I did when I was in Georgia. That's because I was visiting her for my birthday. Yeah. Almost 5 years ago. Almost 6 years ago. Fuck. God. Anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get the hang of, is like the feel of crocheting. Much like with hand sewing. Like I feel a lot more comfortable with it. I have practiced using a thimble, but I feel like it's not my regular thing. I have like a rubber thimble that I use, but I try to use like metal ones. Wait, I have, is it in here? That's right. I bought myself a different kind of thimble to try to use, but I don't think it's for what I think it's for. Because it goes on for like here, and I didn't realize when I got it, because it was all, I mean, there's a picture on it, so I should have known, but hi Grant, I was talking about you earlier in a good way. I mentioned your Twitch streams, but there was some other reason you came up. Oh, the cart that you sent me. That is like, it moonlights as an outdoor bed for Bert. How are you and kitties? Insert and then pull through. Yeah, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I know it. And that's exactly how I would have written it out. All right, I just need to practice. It's fine. Yarn over. I feel like this is the step I'm not doing right. Boy, if that doesn't sound like how I operate, having a planning day and forgoing all the things I intended to do. I had a very different day pictured for myself today. It all ended in a live stream, so at least that got done. But dang. So the first, when I had a hook and yarn in my hand, the first thing I tried to figure out was a magic circle. So that actually makes me feel better. I was like, you know what? There must be like basic stitches. So then I just looked through the playlist on the Hooked by Robin channel and just found like her beginner stuff. And then just tried to, like, she, in the Magic Circle one, that's what it was, in the Magic Circle one, I do really enjoy her channel for this specific reason. Like, she mentioned it, and then she showed, like, how she started. It was like a slip stitch, and then chain stitching, but she didn't explain it. It was just like, I have a more thorough video here, so it kind of like led me down a rabbit hole. And this was helpful to do for someone else's channel. Oh, sorry. It's helpful seeing that on someone else's channel and like finding it helpful, because I know that excuse me, everybody drink some water, because it's somehow 9 o'clock. How? What the fuck? How I didn't know I had time blindness until 2 years ago. Anyway, in some of my videos, if I, like the dress I'm about to start is, excuse me, it's going to have a gathered skirt on the bottom, and I have done more in-depth videos about how to do the gathering stitches and stuff, and like just make a gathered skirt and like really focusing on the step-by-step in-depth tutorial for it, and even drafting the pattern yourself. So when I'm making this dress and showing the video for it, I was planning to just refer to that video, but I didn't know if that was actually helpful for folks. But I found it helpful with her stuff, because now when I check out slightly more involved things from her, I don't have to listen to the whole, here's how you do a slip stitch, here's how you do chain stitching. Wouldn't you know it, I have a bunch of little burps and I've been drinking beer. What a concept. Oh, the thimble. I was like, you can use what for sashiko? Sashiko. Sashiko. Yeah, like, what's cross stitching? I feel like pushing the needle through for cross stitching, I think that would be helpful if there's like a super bulky area. Also, I have only ever done like one big cross stitch. And I made it for Hank Green. He saw it, he commented on it in his Delete This podcast, and that's all that was the goal. I just needed him to see it, and him and his wife laughed at it, and just it brought them a moment of joy, so it brought me a lot of moments of joy. But I have this big thing now, and I kind of want to like make a bag with the cross stitch panel, because it's this giant thing. I don't know if I've ever shown this in a video, actually. This was like specific to Twitter. But I made this, which is, so Pipples is what Hank Green and Catherine Green call, it was because of a typo. So like that's the joke name of like listeners to Delete This, the podcast. This design though, if you're into the McElroy universe, there was like a old, was it a Vine? This is such a specific crossover thing. But Griffin McElroy, the youngest and my favorite of the three, which I know is not like a unique position to have, but I actually, anyone but Travis. Yes, the Peepus room. Yeah, This is like a sign in the bathroom, but it was just PIPIS. So I did a little crossover thing and did People's Room. Pipple's Room. And yeah, the goal was accomplished. Where the people I made, the pipples I made it for saw it. But like, I'm not just gonna send them a sheet of whatever, but I think making it into like a little bag would be cool. What else do you do with like, what else do I do with this? I just had it hanging on my wall for a couple years. Oh yeah, that's the fun part of this stuff. Like I've done, I used to be very into pixel art, because perler beads. I like designed a bunch of random shit. Yes, Justin McElroy has potentially superseded Griffin. He's just so good. He's just so good. He's just so good. And yeah, things I bought at Sheets. And then I feel bad and neglectful for all of my... I had a very strong perler bead phase, and I will show you. Hi. I got the giant tub that half of the fun was just sorting the colors, and then I realized there's so many specific shades and not enough of the colors I need. So then I started organizing them in here. And these are actually really handy to like carry these little guys around. Also, I'm a slut for a good storage container. And then if I take this out, there's even more. Not beads, but there's like a round, because you can't make round things. Can't make decent round things with the square boards. And I'm sure I got those at a thrift store. But the joy of doing perler bead stuff. I think there's a star in here as well. Yeah. Oh. That is a star. I thought I had a 5-pointed star though. That's fine. The joy of it is I have, like, for the mini boards, I just have these. I forgot I had these, and I'm very excited to have rediscovered them. But graph paper sticky notes. Gonna leave those out. Oh, I'm hyped. Oh, there's tweezers in there. Hello. And so much ironing paper. So much ironing paper. I would recommend getting these big boards that attach to each other. And just... Also, thrift stores. Oh my god, thrift stores. Especially when people are doing their spring cleaning. They're like, they buy the shit for their kids, and then their kids are like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like with pony beads. If I could have shown you how many pony beads I had. I made like kits for my nephews, and I sent them out. Oh right, I have this open for this reason. It's such a good storage container. It suits the purpose perfectly. Like this would be good for traveling with. Yes, I agree. Justin, like, is this how I feel about it? Griffin has one of the, like, most clever minds of anyone ever. But it's almost like why I don't enjoy basketball games, because they score too often. Where Justin's like a soccer game, where it's like maybe 3 or 4 points per team, but it's wildly satisfying when they come through. Is that the analogy I'm going with today? All right. You have a 3D printer? Did I notice? Have you talked about this? Is this new? What are you 3D printing? I've never really thought of, like, oh, if I had a 3D printer, I would do this. But a couple weeks ago, I did, yeah, I understand sports super well. I mean, soccer is the one that I did actually play as a youth, hilariously. The taproom manager at the brewery I work at, he's 1 year older than me. He grew up in the town that my like childhood best friends grew up in. They're like my cousins' cousins. So they're basically family. And he's in the same, so it's a brother and sister that are like my cousins' cousins. And the brother was in the same grade as the taproom manager. And he also played soccer because that's all you did in that town. So it turns out little baby me, little like preteen me, and little preteen Nick played like pickup soccer games together, where there's like no photo or video evidence of this. But it's like, I kind of forgot that was even a part of my life at one point. I didn't play soccer for very long, but anyway, that was just like a really funny realization, like, oh shit, wait. Not only do we know a couple of the same people, but anyway, the brother of those cousins, his best friend was one of the first people I ever had a crush on. I'm not on speaking terms with that brother anymore, so I obviously have no idea what his relationship is with this other person. But hilariously, that person I had a crush on is now best friends with the taproom manager. I was like, I will hang my head in shame. Like, he probably wouldn't recognize me unless I told this story, but yeah. Anyway, it's just a funny coincidence. Like, I literally only know 3 people from this one town. That's not true. I know a couple other people. But the ones I actually like spent a lot of time hanging out with was like, oh, that's funny. Also, that other person is like really into birds. Mm-hmm. Oh, you sent me a photo. That's what I was looking up. Do. Gonna look and see the picture. Let's see. Alright, I gotta switch to this. I fucking hate Facebook. It's so hard to navigate. I don't understand. I love them. I'm gonna share with the class. Look at Grant's little Legolas and Gimli. I love them. I really like the coloring on the beard. It's brilliant. So charming. That is delightful. Okay, I feel like I'm missing messages. A spice rack is brilliant. Yeah, I wish I could remember what the fuck I had thought of. That's gonna drive me nuts. I wanna say it was cookie cutters, but I 100% know that it wasn't cookie cutters. I don't know why my brain insists on going back to that one thing. Oh, so I think. Wait. I think it was because of a cookie cutter. Wait, no, that's exactly what it was. My friend Rockwell 3D printed a cookie cutter designed by his brilliant wife. And she made cookies that were a dumpster on fire that said 2020. Baked those for a New Year's party. I love it. So I get almost all of Griffin McElroy's like very specific I'm just looking for his age. I don't need any of this other information. Just tell me how old he is. That's probably a Wikipedia thing, huh? 87. Okay, so he's 2 years older than me. That makes sense. My friend Joe is like 2 months older. No, more than that. Almost 6 months older than me. But we clearly like watched all the same shit when we were kids and like are in that same age bracket. So there's so many specific references that are like hyper nuanced that I will make. And he gets it. And I always feel bad because like his wife Jamie, who's also one of my very, very dear friends, I think I see them more than any other humans on a week-to-week basis. But she just didn't listen to a lot of like music or watch a lot of the same shows or any of that stuff. I think I don't know if things. Oh, is it being weird? Oh no. It's probably just my phone being hot because it's like 2 years outside of the 2-year lifespan. Oh, is the audio? Oh. Is it better? Is it because I keep facing away from the microphone? Oh, printing a watering can is great. That's a great idea. Oh yeah. Even though Jamie is, I think, 1 year younger than me. So even though we're like close in age, I have older siblings and Joe has an older sibling. So I think that also influences what you end up watching when you're a kid. So like without having older siblings, I wouldn't have been into like Fraggle Rock, you know? So yeah, because there's over 8 years between me and my sister. Oh, no, that's bad math. Never mind. Never mind. Wait, how old am I? No, that is good math. Wait. I just came up with a good idea for birthday things because her birthday is in less than a week. So here's the thing. We shouldn't have had cable. We should, for financial reasons, we should not have had cable. Because we'd have a bunch of channels, but then like the electricity would get shut off. So we had no channels. Very, fiscally inept. It's a harsh phrase, but accurate. Yeah, I shouldn't have had access to like Nickelodeon and Disney Channel and stuff like that. And even Cartoon Network and like HBO shit. Like I would watch Storyteller and things like that. I remember basically getting like scolded for watching Nova nature documentaries on PBS because those were free channels, and it was like, why aren't you using, like, we pay for these other channels, why aren't you watching that? Like, it's a waste of money doing this. And I was just like, but I just want to learn about foxes, please. Anyway, that's unimportant, but for what our financial situation was. I shouldn't have had access to all of those shows. So there's a lot of references that like other people in my life that are right within the same window had more fiscally responsible parents that they don't know what those are. And I think that was the deal with a couple of friends were like, yeah, it wasn't the priority. It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been. But anyway, oh, I loved Bill Nye. I loved Bill Nye. I I would not be surprised if I cried meeting someone like that. Like that. Yeah. He's such a big part of my childhood, and I know a lot of people's childhoods. Um, I don't think I've ever cried meeting someone. And I can't lie about it because Sarah was there for almost all of these interactions. I don't think I've cried. Still my favorite was one of the first times I like met a famous person. We went to see Hal Sparks in Boston, and just watching my best friend and Hal Sparks, like, you, it's like he was trying to be your wingman and vice versa. I don't remember the specifics of the conversation, but it was just a wildly entertaining interaction. I don't think those photos exist anymore though, because that was like old camera phone on an old computer that definitely crashed like a bunch of times. I have his autograph somewhere, but I didn't. It's not awkward till you make it awkward. Also, that was all him. It's one of my favorite memories. Also, also when the opener, Chris Bono was his name. When he was signing something for you, and and you said your name, and then he asked, is that with an H? He must have phrased it that way. Because you were like, nah, fuck the H. So now every time I think about how your name is spelled, I think about that. Anyway, I never watched Queer as Folk. Oh, Talk Soup, which was basically a pop culture recap show. Dang. Because I knew I like was very aware of him when we met him, but I hadn't seen that show. And it wasn't because of the Spider-Man movie he was in. Yeah. Talk Soup. That John Henson? No relation to the Hensons. I think was the original guy. Oh my god, my brain is going a place. And then Joel McHale, like that's where I originally knew him from. I think it was just the soup when he took over though. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if anybody close to me watched it or like would have recommended me watching Queer as Folk. Like I remember entertaining the idea of watching it, like when Netflix was first doing God, when you would just order like individual CDs from a box set of a TV show. I was like, I think I'm going to pick a different show than that because there were a lot of seasons to do and I didn't want to mail it back and forth that many times. Remember when Netflix used to do that? And you had to mail stuff back and forth? And when it was called Netflix Watch, and you only got like 40 hours of streaming stuff. Oh, you watched Queer as Folk. How do you feel about it, Sama? I do not mind watching boys smooch, so fine by me. Oh, Grant and Sama are here. Hi, friends. Yeah, Hall Sparks is the best. I definitely remember the first time someone mentioned Queer as Folk. I just thought that they meant the original Queer Eye, which I watched probably every episode, actually. But talk about crying. Ooh, you know what? You know what? You know what? I did not cry because all we did was like, I didn't actually meet Anthony Porowski from the current Queer Eye, but yeah, my parents were, for how conservative they were, they were, my parents were so into Queer Eye. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's so funny. I'm glad it wasn't just my household that experienced that. I mean, it's good though. Like, I I viewed it as a good thing. It was surprising, but just that exposure to like different culture, where like the current Queer Eye, and even I've watched I think all of the other countries, because there's Queer Eye Germany, Brazil. There's one other country. Or maybe it's just those two. Shit, I don't remember. But I love all of them because it's the same energy everybody's bringing. Like, it's not just about like, ooh, you're wearing bootcut jeans. Like, it's not that. Excellent. I want to hear about these stories, please and thank you. Anyway, I did get to see, because my sister took me for my 30th birthday, so almost 4 years ago, which means I have been deep in an Antony Porowski crush. Oh God. Okay. Funny Christmas story. When one thought at a time. It's been over. Yeah, we're coming up on 5 years, because it was the summer I went to New York with you, Grant. That so 2018, when that show first came out. I I know you're, I don't know how much older you are than me. I was born almost 34 years ago. I'm a 89 kid. But as I said, like, I have two older siblings, so I have like almost a decade extra of like exposure to media. So there's a lot of stuff that I watched that like friends I have that were the oldest child, or friends that were only children, were not watching, were not consuming that media because they didn't have like an older sibling that it was just like on, you know. I think you can darn denim like a pair of jeans. I got somebody gave me a speed weave for Christmas, so um wait, I had a lot of flare jeans. Yeah, I had a lot of flare jeans in high school because I didn't start wearing jeans till junior year, something like that. Um, there was a it was a whole it was a whole thing. I wore a lot of wind pants prior to that. Um, but anyway, my sister took me to see Anthony Porowski in New York for my 30th birthday, and it was great. Um, and we had been so it was at the Bell House in Brooklyn, which has like a bar before you go into the like bar restaurant that you can hang out in. That's like the Paradise Rock Club down in Boston. Like there's bar restaurant you can hang out at and like get food before the show, and then like line up to go in for the concert. So me and my sister were inside getting a drink just so that we were first in line, you know. And we got pretty good spots that because that was the night I learned who Hadid Gigi Hadid was, because she was about as far away as the phone is right now, and it's like I don't know who that is, but she has really cool shoes on. um, and anyway, when Anthony came in, he walked through the bar because it was like an hour or two before the show started. He went in to get ready for the show because there's only like the front entrance area, and there were not a lot of other people like in the bar area, and nobody approached him. I was so close, but like he's talked about having anxiety and he was getting ready to do a show, and it was his first time doing a live event, so like I was not going to be that person. But we made eye contact for what felt like 7 years, but was probably like half a second. And then I looked at my sister and I was like, am I pregnant now? So for Christmas, Lego Boyfriend's sister gifted me the first Anthony cookbook. And, oh, hi, Clinton. No, she doesn't have to wrap presents any faster. I have my punch a motherfucker ring on, so be warned. um, oh yeah, so she got me this. She got me this, one of Anthony's cookbooks. So, you know, once we're done unwrapping presents and everything, we're all just like taking stuff out of the boxes or just like more thoroughly investigating everything. So I'm flipping through, and yes, there's some recipes in there, but it's mostly like just a photo book of Anthony, which I am also completely fine with. And like a boyfriend's sitting next to me, and I mentioned like, oh, by the way, I don't know if I told you, but like right after we talked about like when I gave you this gift idea to get me, I hate that whole game. I just don't exchange gifts with most people, but it's fine. It's because they wanted, it's how they express love. It's fine, but it stresses me out. Anyway, I mentioned like, oh, as like a treat for myself, basically because my therapist and friends told me I need to spend the gift money I received on gift things and not just put it in my savings or put it towards like gas or something. So I bought myself 2 event tickets. One is to see Frank Turner, because because I've seen him one time before, and it was the night before my dad's services. So like, I would like to experience that in maybe a better headspace, though that show was exactly what I needed. Yeah, give money for utilities. That exactly. It's a gift not having to stress about bills for the next month. Is that just me? So I got a Frank Turner ticket. I'm contemplating getting another concert ticket. But I'm also still nervous about concerts in general. But the other thing I got a ticket for myself for is Anthony is doing a tour, like a mini tour for his second cookbook that I don't have, but I can get at that event. He's doing like a cooking demo and an audience Q&A. But so I told her like, oh, you know, I treated myself to a ticket for that. And it's going to be the first event I've done in years now. Like that concert I'm going to in May will be the first concert in like about 4 years, which if y'all knew me a decade ago, obviously there have been some circumstances happening, but 20-year-old me would have shriveled up and died hearing that information. But anyway, Anthony event. So I told her I got, told like a boyfriend's sister I got a ticket for the event. And then I looked at Kevin and was like, so by the way, I got myself a ticket to this event. I figured you wouldn't want to go. And then his sister and then his sister goes, yeah, Anthony's not for straight men. And she just, it was such a succinct, exactly. I can't imagine there being any appeal. That's not true. He's so wholesome. But also forever posting thirst traps. Anyway, I missed a conversation about Jinko jeans. What are those? Got the flared jeans and layered hair. Is that okay? I'm hearing a song. I don't know if you're just saying a sentence or if you are intending song lyrics. Fuck. I'm hearing a tune in my head and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck the song is. I don't know if that's the second lyric though. Fuck. Oh, it's right there. I can hear it. I'm like working backwards. God. I'm like starting to hear the actual like vocalist. This is what happens when I'm at trivia. Is I get hung up on a specific question and then I just go excavating in my brain and I like literally turn red. But I get there in the end. Oh, come on. Is this super interesting to watch? Yeah, I don't know. Ow. Oh my god, yes. Little Bitch by The Specials / Big D's cover. That's it. That's it. Excellent. Thank you. we got there. We got there in the end. It's fine. Of all bands to get that stuck with. Although it's not an original Big D and the Kids Table song, so that's probably also what threw me off. It's fine. We got there. now that's what I want to listen to. Sarah, I need to make you a mix CD. I'm going to make you a mix CD. Actually, I don't own those songs, so I can't burn them onto something. I will go and buy the CDs, the physical CDs, if they make them. I'm going to make sure that the things I'm looking for exist, and then I'll get back to you. I hate, if nothing else, I'll make you like a YouTube playlist of the songs that I think you would enjoy of newer music to me, / also like Frank Turner stuff. And also the band that opened for Frank Turner last time is a band called Bad Cop, which is like an all-female punk band. And it was also the day of the Brett Kavanaugh hearing. And like that's, and again, the night before my dad's services. So like a punk show is exactly where I needed to be that evening. So I'm very much looking forward to that show. Also, it's my youngest nephew's first concert. So question for the room. What, if it was your first concert, what would be a cool thing to happen? Because Frank Turner's co-headlining with another band, which is a female-fronted ska band called the Interrupters. And I'm friendly with the tour manager. It's Derek Davis. Yeah, he's the tour manager for them. So for all the concerts I went to in my younger years, I feel like I should use that. What's a term? Social currency for something for Aiden. But I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I just like get something signed for him, or I don't know what else. And also what should that be? Because I was also thinking like, oh, if we got some kind of like shout out from the stage, but that feels like I'm asking more. But also if I don't ask, it's not going to happen. So like, doesn't matter. Yeah. Anyway, I have other things to listen to. Things to read, catch up on. I think I probably need to end this soon because, my God. Yeah, the worst they can say is no. A thing I told myself I was going to do and then didn't do is Cirque du Soleil is in town, or in my hometown at least. And I had applied to be like a costumer on their touring group. Yeah, call in a favor, exactly. I feel like if I'm going to do it for anybody, it's going to be for one of my nephews. Because, okay, a thing, I should just like share this in a video someday. I have a binder full of multiple decks of playing cards because I would bring, I call it my rock deck. I never actually called it that, but then people started giving it a name. So I was like, I guess I can just call it my rock deck. But I would bring a deck of cards with me and then have bands sign them. And that's how I collected autographs. It was like a very portable, I would just have like a couple cards on hand. If I was out and about, and like, I think got through 3. Like, I definitely don't know everybody that I have autographs from. But it's a fun thing to have people sign. It's an easy memento to carry around. But I don't know if there's like a specific thing that Aiden would be really excited about. So I gotta think about it, but I need to crowdsource ideas. Yeah, also like usually here's the thing that kind of freaked me out actually is the person that is the tour manager I know. He used to be the drummer for Big D and the Kids Table. And super super nice dude, but he's the person that first got me into craft beer in the first place. I often refer to him as my beer Sherpa. Is that Bert? I thought I heard jingling. Was it just my earrings? I don't know. Maybe it's just that the furnace is on and there's things jangling. So he introduced me to like that whole world. So whenever I've gone to shows that he's been at, I've brought a backpack full of beer, and like I'm talking 64-ounce glass jugs of beer from breweries near me, and smaller, like 32, like quart size, like Nalgene bottle size jugs of beer. But I've walked into venues with a backpack with like multiple glass jugs full of beer inside of it, and haven't gotten questioned. So that is also an aspect about me being nervous about shows, is like, if that can happen, what else can people sneak in? So I have a lot of anxiety about these events I'm going to, because it's been so long, and you know, things and stuff. Anyway, I think I just hit a wall. Can you see it happening? Yeah, I don't come off as particularly intimidating most of the time. Not to a bouncer. And obviously, like, I will make a point to, like, get dolled up, you know, like just dress like hyper femme for that kind of shit, because that helps that kind of shit happen. I don't view it as an abuse of power, but also I shouldn't have been able to bring that stuff in. Anyway, I feel like I gotta ask him something, where, to be honest, the venue everything is happening at is literally the easiest place to like if a band is willing to hang out with people that come to the show in any capacity, like, obviously they can fuck off to their tour bus and not talk to people. But if it's a band with, like, the types of folks that do enjoy hanging out with the people that attend their shows, I think it'll be pretty easy for, like, myself to have an interaction with Frank Turner, to like just get him to sign something directly for Aiden, or like, I think what I'm gonna do, because this feels like an easier ask, is like, if I can hand off something to the person I know before the show, and then he can, Frank Turner's like a Frank Turner in the Sleeping Souls, that's him, like, with his full band, but he's like a folk punk singer from England, used to be in a lot of hardcore bands. Yeah, I really like his shit. And I like the crowd that goes to see his shows too. That's such a big factor in it for me, at least. But yeah, if I don't have a way to run into him beforehand, then I can, like, message the acquaintance I have. I wouldn't say we're, like, friends. The only time we ever hang out is literally, like, just in the green room after a show that he has actively played. So, yeah, it's not like I'm going to his wedding or something. Only 2? What were the bands? I'm intrigued. I'm sure I've mentioned this fun fact 10,000 times, but there was a year, and Sarah was there for most of them. I have them written down in one of these, like, bins with an old calendar. I think it was 2009. Oh, those are question marks. From here, it looks like you wrote Billy Ray Cyrus when I was 57 or 67. Listen, I rocked out fucking hard to Achy Breaky Heart when I was a little kid. Jeez. Yeah. It was either 2009 or 2010. I can't. I think it was 2009. I went to over. I think it was over 100 concerts. I think it was 102. But I have to look through my list and check. But I went over to 100 shows in one calendar year. That's all I did. That was my entire goddamn life. And that's the year I made a point to go to New York City once a month, which is like 4 or 5 hour drive from here. Never booked a hotel. Well, other than, was it for my 21st birthday? I think we booked the Jane. Yeah, because we had that weird bunk bed room and like one bathroom for, it was like a dorm room. But it was real fun. And the osmosified water, whatever the fuck that was. Remember that? Was this like peak cabaret style Panic at the Disco? Because I bet that was super fucking fun. And with the Dresden Dolls as well. Like I can picture that being toured together. Yeah, I was supposed to see, or not supposed to, I was invited. Here's a weird thing. I was invited to see Panic at the Disco with someone that I've had 2 friend breakups in my life. One was not my doing. One was my doing. But the one that I did not initiate, it was fucking gutted over. And one of the issues was that I made her look like a lesbian. What a thing. I'm sure there were other reasons, and like in the grand scheme of things, I'm glad we are not friends anymore. But like that being like someone caring that much, I don't know. I had short hair a lot in my life, and I didn't have short hair at this time. So it was just that we were 2 girls hanging out. 2 girls that like had shirts that they bought at Hot Topic were hanging out. And I didn't date anyone until like Lego boyfriend is my first like boyfriend. Oh, that's right, Sama. God, I was ready to like fly to California and punch a motherfucker. I got it my whole life because I had a golf club incident. I got whacked in the head with one, which is why my ear's all fucked up. This is an adornment where someone thought like something happened to my ear, and I had this little cuff on here. I'm trying it out, and it's pretty comfortable. Like I don't notice it until I see it, and I'm like, what's that? Oh, it used to be attached to these, but I did not like that extra chain, both because I was gonna hurt myself. Also, it was too much going on, but I don't mind this. Especially because my ear, like, there's no hair covering my ears. Like, my hair swoops over this way a bit. I feel like this balances things a bit. I don't know. Anyway, I got cracked in the head with a golf club when I was 5. And I had so much bandaging around my head that they had to basically give me, like, a Ringo Starr haircut. Like a little Beatles bowl cut. So I had short hair for a good chunk of time when I was little. And people called me, like, a boy and a lesbian. And then, I had like a Karen haircut, like a little bit shaved here, and then like severe bob, in like sophomore year of high school, because I lived with someone that was a hairdresser, but like still kind of learning the ropes, and it was just like a thing a lot of grown-ass women were doing, and I was a teenager, so I got that haircut. But I dyed it fun colors, so at least I had that. Oh, that's very funny. Oh. Here. Hi, Ellis. How are you? Um, yeah, something about that very severe bob in like the mid 2000s. I don't know what it was, but I was like a dark purple a lot of the time. Um, it's so funny. This is like actively something I've been working on in therapy the past year is that even though I literally went to 100 shows in a year, and most of them were punk shows, I like haven't I like wouldn't let myself wear black jeans. I listen, my brain is a wild place. Um yeah, I don't have any professional photos done or anything. Oh, I was gonna say it must be like middle of the night for you, Ellis. Um that is I commend you on being a functional human because I'm sure that that is like a thing that happens a lot of the time is that you have interrupted sleep um, for your kiddo. Uh, so kudos to you. I hope you're able to get back to sleep quickly. Where I turn into such an asshole if like Bert wakes me up too many times in the night. And that's literally just to like, because he wants to sleep on the couch instead of staying in bed, or he needs to go outside, or just get water. But I am like um, a mess if my sleep is interrupted more than twice, and I find I have a harder time getting back to sleep. Probably because the medication I'm on, but because it keeps me from not being on the verge of falling asleep like all day every day. So it makes sense that I would have a harder time falling asleep on it. But yeah, and then and this is just a dog, so I don't know how you do it with kiddos. But like obviously I don't do anything about it. It's not his fault. But like I will feel like mad when I wake up to be like, God damn it, what do you want from me? I have nothing left to give. There are many reasons that I don't want to be a mom. um, and I know there's many other things, but it always makes me laugh. Like the morning after, thinking about how fucking grumpy I get about it. Um, Happy to help. Thanks for hanging out. Um, oh, I I think I think if there was someone I hadn't seen since 2008, mm, I don't know. Certainly not the people I've had. Like we've actively cut ties from each other. And on like the first one, I don't give to. I am very glad that that person is not in my life. There are times like the friend breakup I initiated. Like there are times I'll see like Facebook memories because it was part of like a friend group, and I'm still friends with the mutual friends. There are times where I'm sad we don't have that full group anymore. And I know I'm the one that threw a bomb into things. Um, and but that's my those I don't get access to those. Like I know I can feel my feelings, but it's not like I'm gonna text that person and be like, "Hey, remember when this happened?" It was like that's not fair to anybody. I don't want to like reinitiate a friendship, but they're like, we were friends for 15 plus years, and like there were so many good times, and I'm glad I can look back on the fun things and like laugh about the memories of it. So I'm glad that's where I'm at with it, and I don't have like anger towards anybody anymore. Well, I have anger towards lots of people, but not towards that person. But I've been reminiscing a lot recently. Yeah. And bombs for healthy feelings. Yes. I mean, it was for my own self-preservation. If I didn't end things in like a calm, controlled manner, like I did, there would have been a literal explosion. Like I would have lost my fucking mind. So, it was better for everybody involved. It still sucked, and I'm sure the person was caught off guard with it. Maybe, I don't know. That's not for me to know. But it could have been way messier had I like let it continue. So like I know it was the right choice, but we had been friends for a reason, you know? Anyway, yeah, I do I definitely have a couple close friends that have kids, and I feel like our hangouts, well, the kids are part of their life, so they're not just like always gonna not abandon, but like have someone babysit the kid and then we hang out. Often it is like I will go visit, and then like our hangouts involve them like having to step away to parent, and that's just part of it. And like that doesn't bother me at all. But it is a very different vibe to different experience, and like even conversations and stuff. It's different than when I'm hanging out with any of the other friends that don't have kids. Yeah, someone fairly recently asked me to like, oh, has that been in there the whole time? Is this where the sound has been coming from? Is this where the microphone has been? In this shitty $8 knockoff AirPod? Is my Bluetooth been? It has been. I don't even know if there's a microphone on here. Did that? Let me know if the audio changed. That's fucking hilarious. I was trying to listen to messages while I was cooking dinner earlier, and I was getting interrupted, so I was like, I just have this one pocket. I was like, I guess I'll just put I think sometimes video stuff this picks up on my headphones, but not all the time. And it's okay when it's like my good headphones. For some reason, none of my telehealth appointments work, but then if I'm like playing D&D through Discord, it works fine, and like all the audio goes through there. So I don't know. Oh, I remember pushing a milk crate around when ice skating. I went ice skating a couple of years ago for my friend Jamie's birthday, and I feel like there's me being a young person and me being an old person, and that dividing line is when I started becoming afraid of ice. Because I have hurt myself very badly, including getting a concussion from falling on ice. So, where I never used to think about it. I didn't used to think about it. even just standing on ice, like I've worked brewfests where like I will take grass over any other surface because cement sucks. Many other surfaces suck. Ice is the worst, especially if it's uneven. Doesn't matter how good your boots are. I have had like full proper supportive winter gear on, like all stuff I stole from Lego Boyfriend, and the way that my back and hips hurt after just standing on the ice, and I didn't even fall and damage anything. That was just from existing on top of it. No, thank you. It is so hard. It's fucking cold. But yeah, the time I got the concussion, I was leaving my sister's place. She's in an apartment building, and the parking lot was like around this island. So like when you drove in, there was like one lane, and then there was, if you went left, that went towards the apartment buildings, and then if you went right, that went towards the parking lot. So there's this Y. So right at the like intersection of all three of those, there's a patch of ice. I fell and I cracked my head. Obviously, like there wasn't blood or anything, but I fell and I did not move. I did not get up. Thankfully, I had my phone in my pocket, but like I ate shit, and then I did not get up after that for like a good chunk of time. As I felt, like right before I fell, and obviously like as it happened and right after, a car had been coming up the straightway. And they slowed down because you need to slow down to turn. Most people slow down to turn either way. Their headlights were like right at me when I fell, pointing right at me. They weren't like close enough to hit me or anything like that. But they like stopped for a second, and then they just drove away. Where it was, they saw me fall, and then they drove away. It wasn't like, I would at least offer to like call someone. Because I get being nervous about interacting with just like random strangers out in the world. Especially if you're by yourself. I couldn't see who was in the car, how many people or anything. It's not like they went to get help. Because I thought maybe that's what was happening. It was not what was happening. Oh, you've never been ice skating? I wouldn't recommend it now. You have to do that when you're a kid, when bumbles still bounce. I the whole time I went ice skating a couple years ago, it's probably like 2018. I just the whole time I was like, fuck, if I like twist my ankle or something, like my body's not great at healing, as I very intensely learned earlier this year. Ooh, I do like roller skating. I could probably be convinced to go roller skating. I've thought about like roller derby, but that seems like asking for the same thing, like actively seeking out things that will damage me. But you know what? I didn't think about the milk crate thing. I feel like I'd be okay requesting a milk crate if I could find a real tall one. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about breaking something, and then like that's just what goes through my head is like health insurance deductibles, what the recovery is going to be like, how much work I have to do the next week, and like money loss if I can't, all of those things. All of those things. I could picture you kicking ass at roller derby, Sama. I can like very easily picture that. That's funny about the bumbles not bouncing. Yeah, that's all my head thinks of. as far as that goes. But, oh, the fact that Madeline is, I assume you're saying she's almost old enough to learn how to skate, is bonkers. That is bonkers. Bonkers. Hamster bubble roller derby. I love it. God, almost 4. I mean, it's fine. Wait, what are you drinking? Yeah, I feel like we skated a fair amount when I was a kid. My elementary school, I don't, there were too many people involved for this to go as poorly as it did, but they built like an ice skating rink in the backyard. Um, and it was just like, I assumed pine wood or something. They built this frame and it took up a huge section of the field. Because there was like pavement, like playground type stuff, and then there was like a hill, and just like a ton of grass. And there was like a mini baseball diamond, and then just a line of trees. So they built this skating rink, but they didn't, I don't know what the process is. And I know they weren't like getting a Zamboni out there. And actually someone tried explaining it to me where you need to like flood it really quickly all at once, and like fire departments will do this sometimes. But that rink, the ice was forever lumpy. Like you couldn't skate on it. It went to shit immediately. And then nobody could use it because kids were getting hurt constantly. Sarah, I don't know if that was a thing when you were at that school. I don't remember what year it was. I feel like it was towards the end of elementary school. Maybe 4th grade or something. So they do roller derby like a stone's throw from the uniform store that I work at a couple days a week. And like I look at that building every time I pull into the parking lot, and I'm like, I would like to go see roller derby there. Where this time of year, it's a skating rink. But like when I was a little kid, that's where like the circus would come, and they would have some concerts there. I don't know when the last time they would have had a concert, because there's so many other places now. But yeah, I guess that's where they do roller derby, like closest to me. But I maybe that should be my resolution for this year, is to find some roller derby stuff. Yeah, I've known enough people that do it. I've just never gone. Everything about it sounds fun. Yeah. Again, another one of those things where like I think a younger version of me wouldn't let myself do the punk shit. So stupid. Oh, I love it. I do like the names. Oh, the thing I was talking about before. The way I've had to approach dressing myself, and I actually like the outfits I put together now, because I'm essentially treating myself like a paper doll. And how would high school me dress the paper doll? And then I just put those clothes on, and I'm like this is what like 16-year-old me would have been like. Hell yeah. Having essentially a mohawk. I'm like letting myself wear the stuff that I want to. What a concept. But I wouldn't let myself do it before, because it felt too badass, and I am not badass enough to wear the badass stuff. But that's not true. It's okay. It's okay for me to wear the things that I like. Yeah. Like I one of the things I treated myself to listen, I did put most of the gift money I got for Christmas into my savings account, but the little bit that I kept outside of that, I did buy myself these earrings that I took apart a little bit. I bought like my battle jacket. After I made it, I didn't let myself wear it because I was like, no, that's for a cool person to wear. But I've been wearing it a bunch. And I love it. And it doesn't feel like a costume, where I think maybe that's what I was afraid of. And even if it did, so what? But it has all my favorite things on it. It's like I was at the grocery store and I had it on the other day, and this teenage boy from the produce section came up to me. I don't know why the teenage boys in the produce section, I have rarely gone grocery shopping without one of them commenting on my hair or something. And then like asking if I need help. And if they want me to grab anything, or if they need me to have them grab something for me. I never like, thank you for offering help, but like, please stop trying to chat me up. I need to go. It's a lot more engagement than just like, do you need help with anything? So I just say thank you and then fuck off. But it is, oh, thanks, Sama. Sometimes, like, that is literally my goal for this year, like my one resolution. I was working in the tap room on New Year's Day, and someone, perhaps that's also it, that they're just more social and like willing to like say the thing, like give out a compliment. But one kid, he like, I think he was trying to catch up with me during like going down one aisle, and I assumed he was like trying to get something in this other aisle, but it was like a little more crowded. So he like kind of followed me to a second one, and then like started to turn to go into a third one, and then finally he was like, hey, excuse me. I was like, yes. Always in the fucking produce section. He's like, is that a big D in the kids table patch on your vest? It's like, yes. He's like, fucking cool. And then he walked off. It was adorable. He couldn't have been more than like 17 or something. But I got excited because that's one of my favorite bands. Hell yeah. So like when I wear it out and people comment on something on it, like it has all my favorite shit on it. Why wouldn't I be okay with that? I'm a cool millennial. I wonder if it's just because there's so much more stuff to consume, like so much more nuanced subsets of like pop culture things, that if you're in the same like niche of things that they like it's just way more spread out than it was when we were youths. Like maybe that's part of it. So it's like, oh wait, you're into this obscure thing. Like, oh, it didn't feel obscure to me. But okay. I wonder if that's part of it. Because I know plenty of people that don't even know that ska is a genre. Yeah, anyway, so when people comment on it, like, why wouldn't I get hyped about it? And I do every time I've worn it out. Not that someone has commented on it every time I've worn it out. But when someone does, like, it's like wearing a shirt for a band that I really like. Like, why wouldn't I get excited about that? About someone being like, oh, cool, I love them. Like, sames. What was the other thing? Oh, right. So I bought myself these earrings, and then there's a little pin, a little enamel pin with a hedgehog holding a gigantic knife. It's so good. I'm very excited about it. So I I didn't used to be okay complimenting people. Um, and a thing we unpacked in therapy is like, I felt like I was bothering someone by taking up even a second of their time when I have been complimented. There's two categories though. When I've been complimented, I used to get like, and we worked through it directly because like she would compliment me about stuff and I just have a very hard time accepting it. And so when I received a compliment about, like, if you complimented the dress I'm wearing, I would just point out everything that was wrong with it, or that I disliked, or like something that went wrong, or like always skew it, like basically disagreeing with the person that they should be liking the thing. Which, like, where do they go from there? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Peak. I mean, I didn't talk to people. There was a whole, there was an entire fucking school year where I did not speak, to the point that everyone else it was in gym class, which, like, you have a little bit more space to, like, not talk because you're not, like, raising your hand a lot. But I didn't talk, to the point that my classmates thought I was, like, mute. And it wasn't until, and I wasn't actively I wasn't like, I can't speak in front of these people. Not in that, like, I'm intentionally gonna be silent, but like, I never felt comfortable chatting at all. Or there was a specific cluster of kids that, like, I sat near all the time. And the last fucking day of class is literally like our final, I think. There was a lot of, like, written test stuff you had to do. I was answering, like, what country did baseball originate in, and like what year, that kind of shit. And I aced it, and I was the only one that got 100% on it. So the gym teacher, like, called me up, and I said, I don't remember what I said because I wasn't thinking about it. But I said something. Oh, because I had to do this, like, training thing, for this. I used to be a camp counselor, and there was, like, a training thing I had to do that this gym teacher also had to do. So he knew me from there, and like I was talking with people that I knew there. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Trivia brain appreciates the test. But yeah, like, he said something to me and I responded, and I literally heard a gasp, and then I went to sit back down, and then those like, a lot of kids gasped, but these, like, weird kids, there were like 3 or 4 of them that I sat near. They were like, hey, we literally didn't know you could talk. And then we got, like, once there's that initiation, like, I was chatting with them the entire rest of the time. Like, yeah. But those initial interactions, I could not handle it. So, I'm a lot better at accepting compliments now, because it's just like, oh, thank you very much. And then if I've made something, rather than picking it apart, I'll be like, oh, thanks, I made it. I really like how the shirring came out. Like, it's very sad. Like, I wouldn't do this to a stranger out in public, but it is very satisfying to go like this. All the way around. Shirring is it's very fun to touch. Would recommend. Anyway. But so, like, I never felt good when people complimented me necessarily. Like, I would in retrospect after the fact be like, oh, that person went out of their way to tell me they like my hair color or whatever. So then eventually Christ, it's 10:30. Okay. I keep thinking I'm hearing bird. It's gotta be my earrings or the chair or something. There's, like, enough of a jingle somewhere that has happened a couple times that I think it's Bert, because he's in the other room. And he has this, I have, like, dog mom hearing, where I will be dead asleep and then I'll hear him get up and be like, what do you need? Anyway, so giving out compliments, I didn't feel like I was entitled to the space. Like, I felt like I couldn't take up more room in someone else's life, even if it was like in passing, hey, I love your dress, and then moseying the fuck along. Like not expecting something in return. Also, specifically, now what I do is if something like piques my interest, especially like being a beer tender or like working the farmers market, shit like that, working in person events, like for my own stuff, it's okay to compliment people and just be like, oh, I love your shirt, or like whatever. Oh, I love that. That's a great response. Yeah, like I'm still not great at it, but I've been practicing for a little over a year and I'm like better at receiving the compliments. And it's fine. The thing is, if it's something I've made or whatever, a decision, a choice I've made, these are the two categories. I only compliment people on like their frames, their earrings, their hair color, their top, whatever their outfit is, jewelry they're wearing, because like really good eye makeup, whatever, because if it's not a choice they've made, like it's something they have no control over, don't comment on it, because even I'm sure people have meant well, and there's a whole different can of worms I'm not going to open with this, but like when people comment on like my size, like anything about like my body itself, it's like I hate it. Especially because I got made fun of, and I know it's not the same as the flack, like it's not to the same degree that like bigger people get flack, but all the time from people I didn't know and people I did know, specifically some like terrible aunts. I love that. I love both of those. Yeah, I don't want to be perceived, but if you like my dress, we can talk about how it has pockets. But yeah, like all through high school, middle school, whatever, Sarah was the best, because when people would like basically yell at me that I had an eating disorder, I didn't. I do. I would say I have a disorder. I would say I have disordered eating, but not an eating disorder. Like I will go 10 hours without eating anything because I genuinely forget, because I'm so honed in on whatever project I'm doing. And then all of a sudden it hits me all at once, and then I feel like shit. So like that kind of stuff happens. So that's why I call it like, it's not eating disorder, but like it's I don't have a great relationship with food most of the time. But I got called like anorexic and bulimic a lot in high school, and people like constantly saying shit about me looking too skinny and saying I look sick, that I was too scrawny, and like you have no meat on your bones, and talk to me like I wasn't eating, where all I did was eat. All I did was eat. Where, okay, when you're in school, you have like scheduled eating times. So when I'm on a regimented clock like that, yes, when I have a 45-minute window that is only for food, yeah, I ate plenty. And like same at breakfast. And like I would have some snacks with me because I am hungry almost all the time. But sometimes my brain takes over steering the ship, working on a project, and it ignores the hungry part. But I'm like, in general, pretty much always hungry. But yeah, people would, like I would eat a substantial amount of food. And people would make comments about like, are you gonna go throw that up later? Like if I went to the bathroom, they'd make a comment and be like, have fun sticking your fingers down your throat, whatever. Very clever guys. But then my dear Sarah would, would just tell everyone that I had a wooden leg and that's where all the food went. And it always made me laugh every single time. And then just the response, just the looks people gave, because you always said it so deadpan, and I loved it. But it genuinely helped me. Like, I think that's why I didn't have more issues with all of my shit. Yeah. Yeah. Complimenting people's skills is also a good thing. But so other than just body stuff, I will get comments about that a bunch. But the thing, another another thing I have learned is probably an indicator of EDS. The thing people say to me the most, other than when I was just talking to Sama about this, but when someone is at the grocery store and they're trying to get something off the top shelf and then I arrive and they just say, "You're tall." And then like, I'm sassy about it a lot of the time now. Depending on if it's a little old lady, I'm not. But if it's just like, it depends. It also depends on my mood. But sometimes I'm just like, what? Because I'm a jerkbag person. But people commenting on my height, fine. It's usually when they need something is when they address it. But more than anything else, more than comments on my outfits or my hair, possibly combined, is that people talking about my skin a lot. And I don't know what to say to that because I have no control over it. I don't do anything for it. It's not like I put effort into whatever my skin does. But people talk about it a lot and I never know how to respond. Yes, exactly, Grant. That is very funny. I really love, yes, it's always like, skin suit, basement, okay. Yeah, I really like the idea of talking to someone significantly shorter than me, and if they comment on my height, just being like, "You're a tall drink of water." I love it. I love it very much. Yeah, the skin comments, like, I don't know what to say, because also, like, if people are asking about, like, I put this makeup on right before I started this. I'm not going to take it off before I go to sleep. I never do. I never do. Yeah. Having a tattoo artist call me velvety or buttery. I don't know what to say to that. Thank you. Yeah, like I know for some people, they do put a lot of work into their skin. So then I almost feel guilty that I don't. Most days, I guess I'm witch hazel. And this, I only started doing this like 8 or 9 years ago, but I didn't even do this amount in high school or anything. And I didn't have like, I would get like one spot randomly, which is clearly just from me touching my face too much. But I didn't have like much in the way of breakouts. I have a lot of blackheads, but not like full breakouts or anything. And yeah, I don't spend a lot of time rubbing other people's skin though, so I don't know how this compares. And I mean, I touch my face a lot, but like, yeah, exactly. Like I don't have the mental energy to keep up with that. I remember almost getting peer pressured into getting some skin stuff. Probably because I do have blackheads. I don't think they're visible from here, so whatever. Unless I'm in like harsh sunlight and someone is very close to me, you're probably not going to see it. And people have blackheads, whatever. So I will use like the little strips for those sometimes. And sometimes my skin gets like kind of dry because it's the icy tundra here parts of the year. Less so these days, but anyway. Yeah, I don't, I don't, it's not like I put a lot of effort into moisturizer. Because I'm at an age where my heels start to crack now, I do make sure to like put lotion on my feet more often than I used to. Like I think about it. And then just to keep my knuckles from cracking, I'll put lotion on my hands when I think of it, which is not very often. But that like I don't do much in the way of maintenance. So when people comment on it, like it's the frequency with which it happens. There was someone I ran into, because like that's the shit people will say at the checkout line at the grocery store. I don't know. I sweat a lot, as I have mentioned a lot of times. So I feel like my hands are often clammy. I feel like I give a good handshake, but sometimes it's just a little damp. Not currently. My hands actually, I guess I don't often like touch my own hands like this. I guess they're soft-ish. They don't feel like mechanics' hands, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, like very early on in our relationship, we stopped hand holding. We're not like PDA people anyway, but like I get it. Yeah, a good firm sticky handshake. It'll make them be like, or I don't want to touch something like moist, unprompted like that. So I get it. But also, if I'm going into a setting, like an interview or whatever, where I'm anticipating handshakes, like there's no way I'm not gonna be sweating bullets. So like, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe that's why I go in for hugs. Although, listen, like the rest of me is also usually sweaty, so like, at least there's a barrier. Maybe I just need to wear mittens at all times. Is there like can I wear like a button-up shirt, like just on my hand, just here? Just the palm. Fingers are fine. Just the palm. Anyway, on that note, I feel like I should go to bed because it has been another almost hour since I said I should go to bed. I don't mind a fist pound. If there is someone trying to come in for a hug, I will do some like other things. That sounded worse. Like a double high five. Grant's on to me. That's very funny. Yes. Oh my God. What was that? Hold please, something just fell from the ceiling and I dealt with too many bees this summer. It's wintertime. What would that have been? What was that? Excuse me? I don't know. I don't like it. What? Was it just like... I don't know what that was. I think it was just like a sliver of wood, but why? Why? All right. Well, that's gonna be my night terror fuel tonight. There was someone I didn't want to hug, and they were trying to make a hug happen, and I yeah, I we're standing, um, like here's the edge of a table, right? And they were standing on this side, and I was standing on this side. I was talking to someone else here, and he was talking to someone else there. But he was like doing the rounds and saying goodbye to everyone, and he started walking like coming across the table, and I knew it was going to happen. So without even looking at him, I just reached my arm out. So I was like facing away, and then I reached my arm out and pulled a chair out and blocked him from hugging me. I was like, oh, I hope you have a great, drive safe. Have a great night. I was, I was very prepared for it. 'Cause like I had been, listen, I have too much of me is still like, people pleaser mode. And that's like the biggest thing I'm trying to break. But, there's one small upside to the past couple of years is that I feel like it was like a reset for a lot of physical contact with people. So I feel like once I have started hugging people as like a greeting, it's hard to like backpedal back out of that. But this is like a reset button. So people I don't want to hug, I didn't need to hug anyway, but it's way easier for me. I want to wear spikes. I want to get studs for my D&D character, but some of them are like spiky guys, and that's a I want to be the hedgehog wielding a giant knife. I love it. Oh, also the shirt I bought, by the way, the main reason I went to this was a Hot Topic purchase, but the reason I went out into the world to get earrings and little enamel pin is I fucking bought myself a t-shirt for the first time in a very long time. And I bought myself a Hellfire Club shirt. It was an all black one. It wasn't the baseball style t-shirt, but I just like for over 6 months I have been like, fucking hey, I want one of those shirts, and thinking about it a lot and trying to figure out how I could just make one with like heat transfer vinyl or whatever. And my little dork heart just wanted one so very badly. So I channeled my inner teenager. I was like, what would like 16-year-old me be doing right now? And because I thought about it for so long, I let myself go get it. Also, I spent months looking for this ring right here. It was an $8 purchase at CVS. I haven't bought jewelry probably since this, which I got like 15 years ago. It's a Mighty Boosh ring that I got in their online shop. Probably the first time I ever ordered anything online. I got it so long ago. You know, when that show, season 3 hadn't even come out yet. They were still doing the dang thing. I bought this for myself. These are maybe the only rings I've ever spent money on. But this was this is literally the it is technically a mood ring, but it's always blue. But I feel like every photo I've seen of this one, it's also always blue. I still have work. I like this. I like this plan. Yeah, I'm just doing, I'm not letting myself be afraid of things because they're too badass for me. That is like the dumbest shit ever. And I'm not gonna do it anymore. Anyway, yeah, I want to come to Erie so bad. I am planning to go to Cleveland at some point. And right now I've mentioned this for probably 3 years now, but that, yeah, exactly. I feel like stopping in Erie on my way wouldn't be the worst thing. It's like a couple hours. I think when I looked it up, it's like 8 hours to Erie. And then, yeah. Sama, can we go be spooky bitches in Salem? Can we do this? I would love nothing more. Also, coming back to Denver would be nice. I really enjoyed that trip. That was the first time I flew anywhere out on my own. Look at me now. I've done it 3 times. Okay. I'm gonna go to bed. Also, I have to pee really bad. I didn't finish my beer because I'm bad at drinking, but listen, there are worse things. I got through a good chunk of it. This is all that's left. But yes, I have unadorned myself. So I'm gonna go to sleep. Also, like, I usually go to bed well before this, if that's not coming across. But, oh man, this was a lot of fun. I missed doing these. I will do them more often. It's hard to schedule them, but, like, I don't know how long ago y'all planned to watch this. Like, did you see the video I posted today and we're like, oh, there's a live stream tonight? Or was it some other, like, how far in advance do you need to know about these things? Because I very much enjoyed Hangs. And obviously, like, it's not... Okay, I would like to do, like, a weekend breakfast one. Because I very much enjoy... I mean, I would probably do it earlier in the morning and probably on a Saturday. But if any of y'all watch Grant's Twitch streams, they do, like, a craft brunch on Sundays. And it's... especially if I'm just like doing some chill crafting stuff, it is always a very good time and I enjoy it very much. So I have done like early morning Saturday breakfast hangouts, but yeah, I think that'd be fun. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you were able to hang out. I'm glad everyone was able to hang out. Yeah. I'm going to sew a dress tomorrow. That's the only thing on my list. I'm going to sew a dress. It's a dress I designed like a year ago and have been putting off for a very long time. It's going to happen. Even if I don't get the whole thing 100% finished tomorrow, at least if I like work my way through it. I've already cut out one piece. I did the mathing part. It's easier from here on out. So, yeah. Thanks for Hangs. I will check in soon. Yeah, I mean, I'll have another video out next Friday. The one I did today is very long, so you're welcome / I'm sorry. But I will check in soon. Have a great night. Oh yeah, how do I end this? Is there a button? There, okay. All right. Yes, I will post updates on the crocheting adventures. Once I do like a full project, I'll probably share it. Yeah. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night. / whatever time it is. I'm sure Ellis went back to bed, but it's probably 4 a.m. now. All right. Ending.